boys and girls. Welcome, and one and all, to a lovely Sunday where we will be talking full spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine. And the funniest part about this live stream and us talking spoilers, this isn't even the most major Marvel earth-shattering thing that is currently going on. I was sitting here contemplating making this review or this spoiler discussion, and I'm like, yo, should I honestly even talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, or should we just have an open spoiler discussion on just the insanity of what happened this past day, just yesterday at San Diego Comic-Con? Because, dude, what the heck? So, honestly, guys, I'm going to tell you, this is a Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler discussion, but if you want to talk about what happened at Comic-Con, the Robert Downey Jr. situation, the Doctor Doom, I'm open to hear about that too, because I'm not going to lie, that has been on my mind ever since they announced that. I've been going from, this could work, to also like, a lot of people have a good point. A lot of people have a good point. So, already kind of wish this film never happened. Woo! And that's the point of this spoiler discussion too, guys. You heard me rage about it. Just to recap, I actually really liked the movie. I'm down to say I loved it. But I'm not against all the negative things that people are saying about it, all the reasons why people don't like it, and I'm open to hearing your critiques. If you want to tell me the worst part about this movie, why this is an awful tragedy to the MCU, and pairing it up with the news from yesterday, I'm willing to hear about it. As long as you're not a dick, I want to know what you think. So, yeah, rattle off in the chat. If you want to send a super chat, that's good. But if not, I'm happy to take just from the regular chat and see where this takes us. So, let's just start off here with where we're beginning. We have someone who already sent in. Dark Forest says, if Wolverine stays in Deadpool's universe, that causes an incursion as stated in Multiverse of Madness. Also with the Vulture being in the Sony universe. That's a good point, and that's a good theory. I like what you're spitting here. I'm just wondering then, if that is the case, why did the TVA let Wolverine stay in Deadpool's universe, right? Because they obviously approved that. They were like, yeah, you've earned it. You've gotten this. It's all that. Wouldn't the TVA know about incursions? Wouldn't they know this is not supposed to be allowed? We can't just let you do that. But they did something. Whatever Deadpool and Wolverine did during that machine, it fixed Deadpool's universe from dying. So as of right now, it's not in danger. However, Deadpool is still supposed to be this giant figure that's going to save the future of the main MCU. And I want to know what he's going there. Is it a noble sacrifice? Is him just joining the team? Like, I can't even imagine now Deadpool fighting Doctor Doom, Robert Downey Jr. What's that going to be looking like? We got here, MPX just sends in some support. Thank you so much. If you got a random statement. All right, let's see here. Comic accurate Wolverine. That was by far one of the funniest things they could have introduced there. I had a lot of fun with that. As soon as little Wolverine jumped out, and I was like, oh, finally a Wolverine as tall as me. That's so nice. Dude, that was one of the funniest bits of that movie. Let me see here what else you guys are saying. Some stuff in this movie doesn't make sense. I agree. If you want to point out specifically, I want to hear it out, because yeah, there is some stuff that doesn't make sense, and I think one of the reasons I'm not letting that bother me as much is because I know this is just a Deadpool movie. It's just meant to kind of have a little fun, not take itself too seriously, just kind of go with the flow. The story was good enough to where it didn't bother me, but I agree. There's some stuff, man. I mean, that's why. I mean, when they got things like, excuse me, like the Wolvussy, don't ask why it was down there. You gotta question some stuff. I don't blame you. Let's see. I want the Wolvussy in frame. I want you to know I used the Wolvussy for popcorn. Okay, let's go into some more things that you guys are saying. Okay. You as mad as me that Deadpool is not technically in the MCU and in his own world of still. You know what? That did kind of like shake me up whenever the movie ended. I was like, oh, I really thought they would still make somehow Deadpool's universe part of the MCU. But there's two options here. One, I'm okay with it because I understand they're trying to keep Deadpool rated R, right? They're trying to keep him in the rated R universe. And it's weird because they even just added Deadpool to Disneyland. Like, did you guys see that? Let me pull that up. Deadpool Disney. Land like they have Wolverine in there, and Deadpool is like, I don't know about you. This looks like a screenshot from Fortnite to me. I literally thought that was a Fortnite screenshot. But uh Deadpool and Wolverine are there, and they have a thing where Deadpool reads like uh stories to the kids and whatnot. So it's so funny that we've like come full circle to this era of movie making where we have rated R properties now being marketed to kids. And I don't mean that in like an angry way. I mean that like, and I miss those times, back when RoboCop, Terminator, those rated R movies were coming out and they'd make toys for kids. Yeah, let's go back to that era. So part of me was like, okay, I guess I understand. They want to keep Deadpool separate so that they could still do R-rated stuff if they decide to continue on, and then it could just be there, so it's technically not happening in the MCU. But the second option is, after Secret Wars, I fully believe they're going to merge universes. Some people are going to stay in the main MCU timeline, and that's how they'll probably bring in all the mutants, including Deadpool in there. And when they do team-ups, Deadpool will be PG-13, but when he's on his own, he'll do rated R stuff. So I understand it, but there's still an opportunity for him to join the main MCU timeline, right? Okay, let's see here. I was standing behind you in line at the Deadpool premiere and was too nervous to ask for a picture, but you look swagged AF. Man, why? Don't get nervous. Do not get nervous. If you ever see me out in the wild, I want you to know, as long as you're approaching me nicely and like not being a douche, I am going to treat you like if we have been friends for 5 years or something like that. As soon as I find out a person is a fan of mine, I just instantly like you because I'm like, dude, you have seen me in costume, twerk on camera, be cringy and whatnot. We're friends here. Don't ever be afraid to come say hi to me. I'm going to be as nice as possible, and I'm always willing to take a picture. I don't care if I'm got loved one in my hands dying and burning with fire. You'll be like, oh, you want a photo? Okay. Yo, what's up? Mother, no! That's how much I love you guys. Okay, let's go. I absolutely love this movie, but I am wondering how X-23 got in the void. Me too. Okay, I brought that up in my spoiler review when I was talking about it, right? I was like, how did X-23 show up in the void? Because they just said they made it pretty clear she's the one that is from Logan, right? She saw her Logan universe died, and in the beginning of the movie, they explained Logan happened in the Deadpool timeline, and that's why they're dying. I saw some people mention that when the variants are talking, Blade and Elektra and all that, they were like, they got a knock on the door, TVA showed up, and they pruned them. I don't. Maybe I just did not hear that right, but to me, I thought they just meant they got rid of their entire universe and they happened to be in the void. But some people are saying no. They clarified that they took them out first before they destroyed their universe because they knew they would be a problem. So they went to Deadpool's universe and got her pruned before they destroyed Deadpool's world because they knew she would be a problem. I feel like there's so many other more people that could have been a problem. Colossus, I mean, a Domino, all these other people. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, they didn't really explain that well, but I forgive it because it was a sentimental part of the movie, and I like X-23 in it. Daphne King was great in the movie. All right, let's see here. In my own headcanon, Spider-Man face being blocked off was Doctor Strange's spell from No Way Home. That is also a solid, good point. I didn't even think about that. So in the beginning of Deadpool and Wolverine, let me see if I can find it. Peter and Tony photo. In the beginning of Deadpool and Wolverine, when Deadpool is interviewing to be an Avenger with Jon Favreau, they show this photo, but Peter's face is cut off from the Iron Man mask that was in Iron Man 2, and it proves the fan theory that was little Peter Parker way back then. And I was like, oh, they probably cut off his face because it's probably too expensive to like pay Tom Holland's rights to show his face in a movie and whatnot. But then I was like, oh, you guys are right. The No Way Home spell. Nobody remembers Peter Parker. So I wonder, but also that didn't happen yet. Oh, no, debunked it. Debunk it. Because remember, the interview takes place in the year 2. Yeah, somebody pointed out just right now. Thank you. I literally just thought about this right now. But it takes place in 2018. Yep, so that wasn't the case. It was most likely then because it was too expensive to pay Tom Holland's face rights to show up in the movie, or they had to get Sony's approval somehow or something like that. Okay then, so we could debunk that. It wasn't the No Way Home spell. It was just that, but they did it good enough. Wasn't a big enough deal. We all knew who was behind that mask. Okay, cool. We're making progress here. I like that we're synergizing, guys. Okay, Wesley and RDJ on screen will be history in the making. I wonder if they're coming back. I That's another thing. I don't think they were exactly clear to what happens to those variants cuz like I felt so bad during Deadpool and Wolverine whenever Deadpool and Wolverine jump through the portal and Eliath is clearly there and is going to kill all of them. I'm like, "So wait, what happens to them? Did they just die? Like where are they?" But at the end of the movie, Deadpool tells B-15 was like, "Hey, we have some friends back there. Is there any way you can help them out?" I don't know what that means. Does that mean they TVA put them back in their own universe? Like Elektra's back in her own world. Gambit, who was born in the void, is he in his own universe? And Daphne King got to come back to the Deadpool universe. Is Elektra with Deadpool? Gambit with these questions, and I'm sure like I'm overthinking it, but it makes you do wonder. Okay, are they gonna bring back Blade and these guys, or was this just a one and done thing? I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I don't know if we're really gonna expect Blade to fight RDJ as Doctor Doom now. People hate the fan service in this, but I love it in Endgame. It's like No Way Home, a love letter to the Fox movies. You know what? I totally understand the hate because, like, we've had how many multiverse movies now, right? We've had okay, let's think about this. So we've had No Way Home, we've had The Flash, we've had Deadpool and Wolverine, and maybe you can count Multiverse of Madness, although I don't. And all four of those movies, they do suffer from their story not making the most sense, but it's saved with what the cameos or those characters coming back in and what they mean to you. To me, I still like No Way Home a little bit better than Deadpool and Wolverine. But that's because I'm a big Spider-Man fan. Toby and Andrew there interacting, that saved it. But I gotta admit, on rewatches, No Way Home, it starts to like lose some of its pizzazz after a while. You're like, dude, this story kind of went all over the place. And I guess that's just the way multiverse stuff is. But it doesn't bother me to the point that I could ever see myself hating Deadpool Wolverine or hating No Way Home. But I guess I understand why people, just don't get into it. All right. Monsterzilla just sends in some support. Thank you so much, Monsterzilla. Samuel Bettenfield says, gonna watch later, but I'm sending my support. Hope you enjoyed the popcorn bucket. How do you feel about the skeleton being used as a weapon? Well, let me tell you, that was, my jaw was on the ground. The whole adamantium scene where Deadpool is, the balls they had to tell us we're not going to touch Logan. We're not going to do anything involving Logan. We're going to let that be its own thing. And you open the movie digging up the grave of Logan. I was like, dude, you're going to piss off so many people. And I have seen some people get so mad at that, but the way they had fun with it and the way that action scene played out with, doing the bye, 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 which I just found out it wasn't even Ryan Reynolds in costume. That wasn't Ryan Reynolds doing the bye, bye, bye. I even did it on my channel, Ryan Reynolds. You couldn't learn a couple of dance moves, but that guy killed it. The stunt dancer that it was. Honestly, I was fine with it. I liked it. I don't think it disrespects Logan. Logan still exists out there to me, and I think it's still a wonderful movie that captures a long career that Hugh Jackman had as Wolverine. And this was an extension to that. It didn't ruin his legacy for me because Hugh Jackman had some amazing speeches and performances in this movie. I did see some fans say Logan is the best portrayal of Hugh Jackman as Logan, while Deadpool and Wolverine is the best that Hugh Jackman has ever been Wolverine. And I like that. That's a good way to explain it. I think it works. All right, let's move on now. When it comes to cameos supporting roles, which movie did it best? No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, and Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, I think Multiverse of Madness definitely at the bottom. I don't hate that movie as much as some people. Let's bring them up. What was it? Illuminati Multiverse of Madness. Okay. I did not hate Multiverse of Madness as some people, but man, was it kind of like a eh. I mean, John Krasinski was cool, but seeing them all die, while it was a nice shocking moment, it was kind of like a what the heck, man? What was this? They could have been so much more integral, and I was so intrigued with that universe, and I wanted to see more multiverse hopping and exploring other aspects of the MCU. I think Multiverse of Madness, unfortunately, really dropped the ball on that. While I still like a lot of it, they dropped the ball. Then, it's hard to say, because I think both No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine do a really good job of making these cameos not just cameos, right? Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, they were both integral parts to the story and weren't just there for like 5-6 minutes. They were there from when they got there, they're there for the rest of the movie. Deadpool and Wolverine, same thing. Gambit, Elektra, Blade. they become an integral part of the story and they're there for a while. I'm gonna go No Way Home on top and then Deadpool and Wolverine in the middle. But in a weird way, the Deadpool and Wolverine one slightly works more because they're jokes. Like the Gambit one, you could never do that seriously in like Multiverse of Madness or in an X-Men movie if that was a multiverse story. That Gambit cameo only works because it's a Deadpool movie and we're making fun of this character that never got a solo film. And so that added joke and making fun of it helps the cameo supporting roles a bit for me. Okay. Had the most fun in the theater in ages, smiling from start to finish. Highlights: Logan argues with Wade that lead to the car fight and the mask reveal. Dude, yeah, that car fight, Deadpool Wolverine, that car scene was my favorite fight of the entire movie. I thought it was really well done, super good choreograph, and that Grease song that they had in it was really good. I agree. That's one of the reasons I walked out of the red carpet premiere just so buzzing, so on a high, because it makes a difference, man. Whether you like it or not, some of you have probably gone through it. Whether it was Infinity War, Endgame, or Spider-Man: No Way Home, being in a movie theater where fans are all clapping, cheering at some of these moments, and you're having this collective experience of like we're strangers, but we're loving what we're witnessing. Wow, it's infectious. I love that feeling. I yearn for those movie theater experiences, even when it's outside of Marvel. A couple of horror movies in my time have done that, like Scream 6. I remember my theater was pretty buzzing during some scenes and whatnot. I was like, oh, I love that we're all just like part of this uniform experience, right? So that makes it fun. But yeah, dude, the second screening I watched of Deadpool and Wolverine, I had a terrible crowd. I'm like, nobody's clapping at Chris Evans on screen? Dang it. In the UK, I get these comments a lot on TikTok. In the UK, it's like super rude to do any of that. In the UK, you almost never hear fans clap or cheer, even for like these big movies. And I think that's interesting that it's kind of an American thing or something like that. The Fantastic Four footage looked so good. Yeah, I'm willing to talk about that just for a bit. It's Marvel related. I'm not going to show the leaked footage because your boys already got a copy strike, and I can't risk the channel dying. But somebody did manage to record this promo footage they shot for Fantastic Four at Comic-Con. I've seen it. I looked at it. Man, if the movie ends up looking that way, Galactus looks amazing from the little bit of his eyes, the costumes, the vibe. I love this retro futurism. Honestly, this is the thing I'm most really excited for. While I'm curious about RDJ and Doom and how that's going to go down, I have a lot of high hopes for Fantastic Four. That footage did look great. I'm not going to lie. Okay. We know Logan takes place in Deadpool's universe, meaning that X-23 is the Deadpool universe too. So how did she get in the void? That X-23 is from Logan too. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier. I'm also confused. The only thing, and since I brought that up in my spoiler review, some people were telling me that that Blade mentions, gotta knock at my door, and the TVA took me out before I could fight for my universe. So they make it sound like they went after people that would be a problem once they try to destroy the universe. But I'm like, I mean, that whole world of Deadpool has so many mutants, has Colossus, has all these other people. Well, X-23 is definitely a threat. I don't know if she would have been your go-to. It doesn't make that much sense when you go to think about it, and I think it is like a slight plot hole in the movie. But other people say, well, she could just be a variant that had the exact same past as Logan, and I'm like, I guess that could be true too. Have you seen the Deadpool and Wolverine keychains? Look like some deleted scene concepts made it to the merchandise. Really makes you wonder. Okay, let me see here. Deadpool Wolverine keychains. Okay, you said keychains? I didn't see much. Like when I look at like trailers and stuff for the movie, I didn't see much stuff that I was like, oh, they deleted that. They got rid of that. I mean, I only see the heart ones. I don't know about any other crazy thing that they had. No, my friend, I just see these. I don't think these are really ones, unless I think these are just collaborative ones. You'd have to like send me a link, buddy. But yeah, I think most of the stuff that was there got in the movie. Hey, Chris, I want to see it. I went to see it. I love it. Hey, happy you loved it, man. I walked away pretty happy with the movie. I think in a year from now we're gonna see most people turn on it, unfortunately. But I still enjoyed it. Wish there was a longer Hulk fight, man. You and me both. Deadpool and Wolverine. Hopefully, I don't show the wrong thing. Let's just go with this image. Even though it's AI, that's just crappy. Let's just do this image. Okay. Yeah, dude, I wanted that fight to be a little bit longer, but maybe they're building it up for something else. Maybe they're gonna have an actual Wolverine fight that'll make sense. It would have been too much, but it was just cool that they hinted at it along with the yellow and brown suit. But man, I really want to see them tussle. Really want to see them tussle. The most surprising song cameo for me was Blade. Yeah, Blade definitely. I didn't see anybody predict Blade was going to be part of the movie. Not a single person did I see was like, "Oh, Blade's going to show up in there." And even crazier, also with the history that Ryan Reynolds has with Wesley Snipes and how they didn't get along during his Blade movie, but also the MCU Blade is just continuously getting delayed and stuck. I'm like, how did we bring in old Blade before new Blade? But dude, Wesley Snipes, dude was a badass in that movie. He still got it. If they announced another movie with him, I don't think people would be that mad. Although I do want to see Mahershala Ali take the role up. Deadpool and Wolverine was awesome. One of the best experiences. The opening scene was funny AF, and really hope with the cameos and them actually being part of the. Really happy with the cameos and them actually being part of the plot. Was hoping for James Marsden though, dude. Same, dude. Okay, so let's see that fake. You guys remember this fake leak that was going around. Somebody photoshopped this, and we knew it was Photoshop when it first came out. But yeah, this was going around like crazy, and it hyped me up, man. I was like, "Oh, dude, they're gonna bring him in, and look at whoever did this Photoshop job, fantastic." Because I even love that costume that they threw on there. But okay, this to me is why I thought they were actually going to announce X-Men versus Avengers right before the Comic-Con panel that just happened this weekend. I really thought this is what maybe they were going to do. I saw a great fan theory that I was like, dude, you might have just cracked the code. Somebody was putting together pieces, and this is going to be a huge stretch, okay? I know it's probably not true. Okay, but in the movie, Wolverine never really clarifies about how he killed some good people, right? He said he went after the humans that killed his X-Men, and along the way, he also accidentally killed some good people. But they never clarify what that means. Did he accidentally kill a kid? Did he just accidentally kill cops that were trying to stop him? Nothing like that. And then there's another line in the movie where Wade says, I didn't get to join the Avengers. And then Wolverine goes, F the Avengers. And so people put those lines together. And okay, what if this happened in Wolverine's timeline? After whoever was the people that killed the mutants, Wolverine goes on this killing spree, is just going after people left and right. The Avengers are called up to go stop him because you can't just go killing people for no reason. Well, he did have a reason, but you can't just go killing people, right? You're a hero. So the Avengers go in to stop Wolverine, and Wolverine accidentally killed himself some Avengers, a Captain America and Iron Man during all this. And that's why the world really turned on Wolverine and hate him because he killed a couple Avengers and now everyone hates mutants. I know it's a huge stretch and it's crazy, but I was like, that's a good fan theory. That's not a bad idea because he just calls them humans. And technically, everyone who's an Avenger is a human, isn't really a mutant. I'm like, oh, that's not a bad fan theory. Wolverine killed some of the Avengers, and that's why I thought maybe they could, instead of doing Avengers Doomsday, they were gonna do Avengers versus X-Men, and it would have been like the X-Men that they set up in the Marvels with all the classic people. Because they didn't show James Marsden, Cyclops, they didn't show Halle Berry Storm, Jean Grey, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, none of them, and I'm like, I think they're saving them. They're saving those cameos for something else. We'll see. Maybe they're not. You know, Monsterzilla says next Godzilla movie is called End of Godzilla. What did God do with Deadpool and Wolverine? Cool title though. I think the fight with Sabretooth was wasted. Yeah. I was even surprised that was the actual dialogue in the movie. So remember when that one trailer came out and we were all like, "Oh, that can't be the Deadpool actually talking in that scene where he's like, fans have waited years for this fight. They're decades for this fight." I'm like, he's probably talking about Hulk and Wolverine. And we did get Hulk and Wolverine, but Deadpool didn't use that line. It was directed towards Sabretooth. And I'm like, watching back the old X-Men movies, I know Sabretooth and Wolverine didn't really get to tussle as much, but it's also like, I don't think that's a fight that's all that hyped up and that we're like, finally. And even if it was, you just had Wolverine hit him once and it was done. You know? Kind of a weird way to set that up. I agree. Surprised with no Charles and Eric, but was not upset. Yeah, I agree. I was surprised, but at that point, it was too many cameos, right? It was just too much stuff going on, and it's even more confusing because, like I said, since they confirm Logan takes place in the Deadpool timeline, Deadpool 2 had the cameo of the X-Men, and it was a young Charles Xavier. So how would it have made sense, to have them in? It was just you think too hard, but also this is just the way of the Fox universe, right? It's part of the continuity, schmartinuity. That's what they be doing. Uh, how would they explain Kang in the future? I think they're just gonna do a thing where let's see, Doom versus Thanos. I think they're gonna do a thing where like the movie literally opens and Doom, Robert Downey Jr. is gonna do something like this to Kang. He's gonna show up in that planet where all the Dooms are at a coliseum going, yeah, the post-credit scene from Quantumania. Doom's gonna show up and just go, no more Kangs. And they're gone. Yeah, something like that. And that sets them up like, oh, dude, this guy's for real. I don't think they'd even replicate this scene. I know I've seen a lot of fans already going, no, they're going to do this where he kills Thanos. They've already done that so many times. Thanos dies. In like Multiverse of Madness, they did the Thanos death. If you go to whatchamacallit, Marvel What If, they also kill Thanos a bunch of times. They've killed Thanos so many times now, seeing another character do it means nothing. It's like, okay, we've already seen like 10 people kill Thanos. That just means the 616 universe should not have lost to that purple dude, you know? But I think that. Or they just might not even talk about it again. You never know. 3C's editor Reed take. All I want to get out of this film was $200 million equivalent of a parody movie like Airplane or Naked Gun, and for the most part, I got that 7 out of 10. Wow, Reed, 7 out of 10. That's lower than I would give it, but I get it, man. I get it. Second time around, the flaws stood out as much. I wonder how I would have graded it if I wasn't in a room where everybody was going crazy and wild, you know? First impressions are everything. What happened to X-Men reviews? Oh, dude, they're still coming. In fact, Reed just sent me the final bit of the first class to Dark Phoenix. Hoping to get that finished tonight after this and post it tomorrow. They're still coming. Sorry they were late, buddy. I know. I disappoint you guys all, but I'm trying. I'm trying here. Did you get free Deadpool and Wolverine antenna ball when you bought the Jack in the Box fan fave box for your video? It was part of the promotion. My Jack in the Box ran out, so I didn't get to have that little ball. Would have been nice though. Would have been nice. As a mod, do you want us to monitor your video comments the same as we do your live comments? Yeah, just get rid of people that are being mean. Don't get rid of negative comments. If someone's like, I hated this movie, let them be there. They're open to that opinion. But if they say, I hate this movie because female, get rid of it because that's no place here for 3C. Okay. Deadpool 2 is before Logan. The mention of Logan is just breaking the fourth wall, like Deadpool having knowledge of Loki. Season 1 exists, which is in a different universe. See, I do agree, right? Because we're like, okay, Deadpool, Logan thing. I 1000% agree that this is an in-universe joke at the time. This wasn't, when this came out, this wasn't them saying, oh, Logan just happened, now we're moving on to Deadpool 2. In my mind, I always knew watching this, oh, Logan was in a different universe, but with Deadpool's fourth wall breaking and knowledge of the multiverse and things like that, he's aware of this. But now when we get to Deadpool and Wolverine, they confirm, no, this actually does happen in the Deadpool universe. If not, then why is Deadpool's universe dying? Because they just said Logan's death, the way it happened in Logan, is the reason Deadpool's world is dying. And I had some people defending it go, oh, Chris, that just means it happens in the far-off future. Well, then why do they grab Deadpool from the past when he's needed, when that just happened? No, like, it's just, again, it's stuff that doesn't make sense. Like, there's a plot holes in it and whatnot. You could go about 1,000 ways of explaining it. At the end of the day, because it's a Deadpool movie and I'm just expecting parodies and laughs, I'm not going to let it bother me as much. But if this was like in a Spider-Man movie, in a Iron Man movie, Captain America movie, I'd be a lot more like, this don't make sense. Make it make sense. But we'll see. And again, it's just the Fox universe. They were always bad with continuity. So to me, it's just part of the universe they were in, I was waiting for Deadpool to make fun of Eliath, of being Galactus instead of eating planets he eats. People and items in the void left my ass off. You know what's funny about that is like you're right. That joke would have been funny, but it's also like how many inside baseball jokes should Deadpool say before all the jokes just feel like you need to know every detail about the MCU to laugh? You know what I mean? I feel like this movie. I don't want to say is the worst at that because I don't think it's a bad thing. Because as a fan, I liked all those inside jokes, but I do think the jokes in the first two Deadpool movies are way more accessible to people who aren't that glued in to movie news, comic book movies, gossip news, all this other like there was so many areas you had to be knowledgeable in to get. The only joke I didn't understand in Deadpool and Wolverine is when Deadpool mentions, "Yeah, the Wizard of Oz did the multiverse the best." I didn't even know the Wizard of Oz dealt with the multiverse. I was like, "Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Good job, gays." Deadpool said it, not me. Don't cancel me. All right. Yo, what's happening, Chris? What are your thoughts on the movie in a smooth, crispy rhyme? Also love you, man. What are your thoughts on the movie in a smooth, crispy rhyme? Unfortunately, buddy, I don't know that movie. I appreciate your super chat, but we are talking Deadpool and Wolverine and the Marvel universe. But I'll make a note of it and I'll check that out, my friend. But just trying to stay on topic. Okay. Hey, Chris, today's my birthday, so it would mean a lot to get a happy birthday, Aiden. Happy birthday, Aiden. Love what you do, man. Been following you since Chucky season 1. Very intrigued to see Peter meet Tony Stark Doom. Yeah, I am too. I'm sure we're going to talk about it more as the weeks continue on, and I'll make a couple more videos on it. But, dude, seeing the fan base get divided is crazy. Yesterday, I was saying it was 50-50, where 50% of people love it, 50% of people hate it. After it's been almost 24 hours and I'm seeing way more reactions online, it's looking more like 60 or 70% hate and 30-40% like it. And I'm not going to lie, as someone that was like, okay, this could be cool. I see where this could go. A lot of the reasons people bring up on why they hate it, I'm like, that is a really good point. It's like, while I am excited to see Peter meet Doctor Doom and seeing that it's his mentor and Iron Man, Doctor Doom is a Reed Richards villain, is a Fantastic Four villain. This doesn't make sense. This is like, it would have been so funny if John Watts was still the director of Fantastic Four, because in the Spider-Man movies, he was constantly making the bad guys Iron Man villains instead of Spider-Man villains, with Vulture's backstory, Mysterio's backstory, and even the No Way Home villains get Stark upgrades, right? Dude, if John Watts was still the director of the Fantastic Four, where they have Doom and he's full on Iron Man Robert Downey Jr., it's like, what are you doing? But I'm officially no longer a John Watts hater. I love the man because he said hi to me at the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere. So me and him are best friends. You're never going to catch me saying anything negative about Watts again. Love you, Watts. We're buddies. Did you see the new Creature Commandos trailer? I did. I wish I was excited, but I'm honestly not. It looks okay though. Okay, if Logan stays in Deadpool's universe, that means there are two Logans. No, there are not, because Logan is dead in that universe. Don't you? That's the whole opening. The opening of Deadpool and Wolverine is literally Deadpool digging up Logan's remains. It's a skeleton adamantium, and he tears that thing apart by killing TVA agents. That Logan is dead. So now Wolverine being part of that universe, he does replace Logan in there. And we only have one Wolverine, one Logan. There's not two of them there now. So we'll continue on. All right. Let's see here. Also, emotional seeing the OG Blade and Elektra back. I can understand Blade having an emotional impact, and I'm not trying to be a dick to Jennifer Garner, but even as a kid, I did not like that Elektra movie. I was always like, I liked her in Daredevil, and I was sad when like she dies in Daredevil. I was like, no, I want y'all two to be together. But even as a kid, I was watching Elektra like, Daddy, turn this off. But it was still funny, the joke she was making, like when Daredevil was like, "Oh, I'm sorry about Daredevil," and she's like, don't worry about it." But that's just funny. Okay. Whatchamacallit? Sunday Joe says, how about all the Wolverine cameos? Side note, need to get ripped like Hugh. Maybe need more workout reps with the Wolvussy. Oh, dude, The Wolva will get you in that Hugh Jackman shape, all right? I'm already putting in that force. My muscles have grown 3 times now. This is me emptying out the popcorn in there. Nothing else, you perverts. But dude, those Wolverine cameos were great. I admittedly I didn't know like a couple of them, like specifically the one on the cross. I was like, oh, I'm not familiar with that, and I had to watch a new Rockstar video or some article to like get it explained to me. But all the other ones were good. The Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, the Cavalier, the Henry Cavill one was dope. All good stuff there. Okay. Well, which Fantastic Four death was worth? Mr. Fantastic or Johnny? Ooh, that's a great question, my friend. I didn't even think about that. Are they really going to kill every Fantastic Four member before we get there? Okay, so let's see. Reed Richards, Multiverse of Madness. Okay, so we had Reed in there, right? And then we had Chris Evans, Johnny Storm. It's obviously this one, right? This is the worst one because he's supposed to be the smartest man alive. They even name him that way. And he flat out tells Wanda, as soon as this guy opens your mouth, you're obliterated. So stop. And then it's like, oh, I just gave away his secret weapon. Now he's dead. And the first thing he decides to do after seeing Wanda with these unimaginable powers is, I'm going to touch you. And turns into spaghetti. That was not only such a disrespect to Reed, it was so embarrassing and sad. Now, granted, if Johnny Storm died by having himself get hit on the balls and then fall like 5 stories to the ground all bad, and that was the end of the Chris Evans cameo, I'd be willing to say that was worse than Reed Richards, because I was so afraid of that when watching the movie for the first time. I'm like, no, please don't tell me you're about to kill Johnny Storm by having him get hit in the balls and then crack a neck. Please don't. But he lived on and continued going, and then they sucked out his body and whatnot, dude. These Fantastic Four people are dying in the most horrific ways, getting turned into spaghetti and then freaking getting your skin ripped off. Wild. So I'm gonna go Mr. Fantastic. I'm gonna go with Mr. Fantastic's death. All right. Here we go. Love your stuff, Chris. How would you explain how Deadpool was in the Avengers interview if Cable's watch can only time travel, at least as far as we know? Actually, I had to think about that because I was like, Cable's watch can go in the multiverse, but if you think back to the end of whatchamacallit, of Deadpool 2, no, that time device is helping him go to the multiverse, because how else would Deadpool go to a timeline where Ryan Reynolds is an actor and he's reading the script for Green Lantern? That doesn't happen in the timeline of Deadpool's universe. There is no Ryan Reynolds actor out there doing that because he is, Ryan Reynolds or whatever. So he goes to a different universe, basically our world, and he kills that version of it. Then he also goes to this timeline, the X-Men Origins, where we know this Deadpool and the Deadpool where they sewed his mouth shut is a different Deadpool. So they did establish at the end of Deadpool 2 that Cable's time device not only time travels, but it goes across the multiverse, which is like a pretty powerful item. Now, I don't remember in the movie if Deadpool says he destroyed that device after he got rejected from the Avengers. I think he does say that, but I'm shocked the TVA did not steal that device from him or arrest him, because I'm like, I understand time traveling. The TVA have said in the Loki series or even here, because they say all his time travel shenanigans the TVA didn't have a problem with. But time hopping to different multiverses, I do think that's like a problem for the TVA. So I'm surprised. Yeah, okay, I'm seeing some of you guys say that, yeah, he said he did destroy it. Okay, he said he did destroy it. Yeah, I figured. Or else they could have easily have gone to, Wolverine's universe and fixed that. So, yeah, Cable's device not only time travels, it goes into the multiverse, which pretty crazy. But it's again because they never expected that to be connected to the MCU. They were just like having a funny joke. All right, is it just me, Chris, or was I expecting more MCU cameos and cameos in general in Deadpool and Wolverine? I mean, yeah, I did see a lot of those comments and people saying I was expecting more. I wanted to see more, but I think they're holding back. They're still going to play this cameo nostalgia bait game for Secret Wars and Doom Dynasty because we're still in the multiverse phase. So I think they're saving a lot of that big stuff for those Avenger movies. And these were some good ones. All right. Let's see here. All right, we have NC Donnie says, please make the 2019 Child's Play live stream public. Okay, I'll look into that, buddy. I'll look into it. I just think the audio was terrible in that, but I'll think about reposting it, buddy. Do you think Deadpool and Wolverine will be in Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars? I do think so. I don't think it'll be Doomsday. I think it'll be Secret Wars that they show up in. I think Doomsday, let's just pull up that logo because it is a pretty sweet logo, whether you're excited for that movie or not. You got to admit, that Avengers Doomsday logo, woo, freaking gorgeous logo. I think they're going to make this a very serious movie. I think they're going to take it seriously because it's going to be introduction to Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, trying to make that make sense and appease some fans because right now a lot of people are mad. And you know what? I was okay with it. I was like, you know what? I'm excited. This could be cool. You know, he went from saving the universe to being the destroyer of the multiverse. And like now we're in this parallel situation. If you remember in the first Avenger movie where, let's see, let's see. Tony Stark and Loki, right? There was a scene in the first Avenger movie where Tony Stark and Loki literally like have this like talk off in the Avengers Tower. And at the beginning of the MCU, they're on opposite sides. Tony Stark is trying to fight Loki because he's a villain. Now we're at a point in the MCU where Loki is a good guy and Tony Stark, or at least this Doctor Doom variant, whatever, is a villain. The way they have flipped that around is kind of intriguing. But all the points people have made up about they really should have stuck to Doctor Doom's traditional Romanian origin, gotten a Romanian actor in there like Cillian Murphy or someone like that. That would have been really cool. I no lie. And it's also like this is obvious fan service and desperation. I do agree. I see the potential for cool storytelling, but I totally get the anger behind this. Anyways, what I was saying is, this movie, I think they're going to treat it seriously. And for a serious movie, you just can't have Deadpool show up in there and making his quips and jokes because he brings the humor up. Secret Wars, I think, is going to be the wild movie, dude. Secret Wars is the movie where I fully believe Tobey Maguire, Hugh Jackman, Deadpool, friggin' Robert Downey Jr. still a Doctor Doom in there. All these crazy. That's the movie where you have maybe a little bit more fun and leeway and get crazy. But I don't know about Doom. I do think Secret Wars they will show up in. All right. Let's see here. What else you guys saying? Skibbity Lawn sends in some support. Appreciate it, Skibbity Lawn. Okay. Hey, Chris. Why was Cassandra kind of bad? Not gonna lie, dude. I get it. I get it. That accent, man. Is that, you know what? I wouldn't mind letting her fingers go inside my head. Dude, but the way she was dragging Paradox in that one scene, I thought that was so funny. She like grabs him like a bowling ball and then just drags his body. CGI was mid and Wolverine mask only looked okay from the side. Look, you know what? I agree. I am 50-50 on that mask. So, that mask has caused a lot of debates. I will admit it. Yeah, like some scenes it looks really cool. Like when they go to the bunker, the subway, I think the mask looks great. Outside in the open in sunlight, it didn't look that great. Like I saw some people mention the scene where they jump out of the bus, right? And they have the slow motion and Deadpool falls and ruins it, all that. Once Wolverine stops and he's looking around, somebody said, "Bro looks like a video game character on a fighter select screen," and he's just like, you know, when you have those video games and you pick a fighter and they're just like, dude, that's exactly what Wolverine looked like in that scene, and it was pretty jarring. But I don't think it was a completely CGI mask 100% of the time. I think they had a real physical mask, but because they're animating the eyes and making them move like Deadpool's mask, it just makes the whole thing look CGI-ish, and it does ruin it. But I was still just happy to see him in it. It was cool for them to try it. If they bring him back in Secret Wars, they have a chance to fix it or make it better. We'll see if they do that. Okay, let me get that off the screen before I get, like, hey, he's pirating the movie. Get him. Destroy him. Okay. Oh, dang. Okay, we got a hot take. I love to see it. 90 Day Fiance 696969 says, worst Deadpool movie. So hard second watch. Cameos don't equal a good lasting movie. Worst story and villain. Finale is fighting a bunch of Deadpools. Huh? Okay, you make some valid points there. Like I said, I went from, really loving the movie first time to then going, I still really like this film the second time around. Some of the cameos don't bother me as much because they weren't just cameos. I still believe Elektra, Blade, Gambit, X-23, those aren't cameos. Those are supporting roles, and they have a larger purpose in the movie. Maybe not a great one, but they still have like a large purpose, and they're not just there to be like, "Hey, I'm Gambit, shot out of my daddy's dick," which is still crazy that Gambit said that. So that didn't bother me, and that isn't the reason I like the movie. The main reason the movie's on, like, I like it a lot is the chemistry between Deadpool and Wolverine. That the entire movie brought it home to me, especially Wolverine's performance. Um, Worst story, I do agree. It is the worst story out of the three movies. I think the first two movies is better. If I'm ranking them, it's Deadpool 1, Deadpool and Wolverine, and Deadpool 2. But Deadpool 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine are like neck and neck, you know? And yeah, I will say they didn't have a great finale. Well, while the finale is cool to see the Deadpool core, would have liked a little bit more of them, or just maybe a better fight with Cassandra Nova, although she's just too OP, so I don't know how you make that work. I get the criticisms. You're totally valid in those. Thank you for bringing those up. All right, I want Deadpool and Wolverine as playable characters in Call of Duty Warzone and Mortal Kombat 1, voiced by Ryan and Hugh. I did see Ghostface is joining Mortal Kombat 1. That's dope. I think maybe, I don't know if they are coming to Call of Duty. They're in Fortnite, though. I bought them Fortnite skins with some V-Bucks. Asked my mom, said, "Mom, can I have some V-Bucks? Are my pizza rolls ready, Mom?" Got to get that skin, right? It was cool. It was cool. All right, let's see what else they have to say. Didn't it confuse anyone else that the trailer said 26, but it came out on the 25th? Let me look at my calendar. If you're talking about, well, that's just because the back in the day, back in my day, buddy, movies would come out at midnight the day, and so technically the movies comes out on the 25th. And I would go there. From Iron Man to like the first Avenger movie, they did that where the movie would come out 12 a.m. at night. And my daddy and my brothers, we would go and we'd be there and we'd watch the Avengers at 12 a.m. and it was an experience. Movie theaters realize people love going to those late night showings, but we can't always be doing 12 a.m.s because there's not enough time. Let's move it to 7 a.m. And every year ever since they did that, they've been moving it up. To Deadpool and Wolverine, I saw showings on Thursday as early as 3 o'clock. And I'm like, dude, so these are no longer midnight showings, pre-showings. The movie just comes out on the 26th, on the day before of the release date now, which is all fine by me, because as I get older, harder to stay awake. So midnight showing's kind of hard for me to do sometimes. So 3 o'clock showing is good. Okay. Hey 3C, big fan. This is better than No Way Home personally. Okay. Men and Fantastic Four was my intro. X-Men and the X-Men Fantastic Four were my introduction. Thanks to my stepdad. May he rest in peace. Oh, I'm sorry about that. My number one cameo, believe it or not, it was Johnny. It was just soothing to see Chris. I agree. I wish there was a line at the end of the movie where they said, let me just bring him up. Johnny Storm, Chris Evans. Hopefully it's not like a leak because I'm not trying to get okay. So I agree. I love those first two Fantastic Four movies. They have a soft spot in my heart. I saw them when I was a kid, and to me those were just good. I know they have flaws, but I like those a lot. And so I don't blame you. Maybe these movies just connect to you more. To me, Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire and Andrew's movies have just such a stronger personal connection. Just the amount of times I rewatch those, I was more of a casual, just fun lover of these. So I get why it can mean a lot to you, man. I don't blame you. And that was a pretty cool cameo, Chris Evans in there. Okay. Do you remember the window? Okay, we're not doing commercials right now, buddy, but I appreciate you, Dutch Archive or the Archive. I want to take you there. This is a song reference, right? I think it's a song reference. Yeah, it's a song reference. Okay. The Proposal. Dude, still the funniest freaking joke in that movie, man. It's, I too can lightly break the fourth wall. The Proposal. Oh, dude, it was funny the first time, and the second time I died even harder. Best joke of the entire movie. I died. Hey Chris, where are the other X-Men reviews coming up? Like I said, my editor sent me one of the final drafts of the First Class to Dark Phoenix, so hopefully by tomorrow I can post that. Okay, Just curious, what would you rate the Echo Show out of 10? 7. I like some of it, but it kind of went off the rails for me. It was like a good. If it was a grounded show, it would have been like an 8 or a 9. But when it started bringing in spiritual stuff and like the aliens or like the ancestor beings and all that, MCUified, and it didn't work for me, man. So 7 out of 10. Okay, what if X-23 was an anomaly like Sylvia and Morales? That could be a thing. That could be a thing. That could be something that explains it away, my friend. That could be it. That could be it. Not bad. It shows how evil Paradox early on when he laughed at how Deadpool abused his timeline with Cable's watch. Mobius would have been furious. Oh yeah, Mobius would have been furious. Would have been furious. I did like though that they added that subplot that Paradox was like a rogue TVA agent. That made a lot of the stuff with the TVA work so much better for me when they were just like going off the rule book. I like that. Who would be your top 3 actors for Doom? Cavill. Is Cavill Romanian? I don't know. I do like the Cillian Murphy casting, but I also saw so many other people. The reason I'm still open to it is because I'm fully believing Robert Downey Jr. is just gonna be. I know they confirmed already, which I was wrong in my video. I did not know. I think they on the Marvel Studios page and even the Russo brothers did say, oh, by the way, guys, a video made it on the trending page, man. 20th trending. I almost never get on the trending page on YouTube, so thank you guys for who all watched and supported that Comic-Con video. But here they confirm it, like Marvel Studios flat out says this is Victor Von Doom, and I'm like, oh, I really thought it was a Tony Stark variant who becomes Doom or takes up the mantle of Doom. Maybe they still have a way to, turn it around or whatnot, but I'm hoping this is still just a variant, a one-time thing, or not. It's going to be a two-time thing for the Avenger movies, because I still would very much like to see the Latvarian ruler, Doctor Doom, the traditional one, who's has a direct connection to the Fantastic Four instead of, War Machine, Spider-Man, all those other people. I hope it works, dude. I hope it. I'm keeping an open mind. I'm keeping an open mind on that. All right. Hey Chris, huge fan of yours. I watch and listen to multiple videos of yours every day. I love this movie. Had such a blast with it. Have you gotten any Funko Pops with the movie recently? Yeah, since I'm trying to limit how many Funko Pops I buy, I only bought one Deadpool and one Wolverine. Back in the day, I would have bought all of them. I would have bought the Lady Pool. I would have bought with the mask, without the mask, this Deadpool variant, that Deadpool variant. I gotta calm down. So just Deadpool and Wolverine were bought. The proposal. Dude, so good. Such a good joke. I can't imagine. I can't wait to see Deadpool as part of a larger ensemble with the Avengers, because those one-liners are gonna hit so hard. Watching this movie in IMAX with a packed theater is one of the best movie theater experiences I ever had. I agree, man. Just these Marvel movies, I know people there's so much hate, so much, and some of it is warranted. I'm not saying everybody who hates on the MCU is wrong. There's definitely a lot of criticism that is right, even with this Robert Downey Jr. Doctor Doom thing. It is a desperate fan servicey move, but also like I like the movie theater, roller coaster theme park experience. It's just fun to have with the collective audience, I hate when people say, of course you just eat up anything they serve you. I did not love Love and Thunder. Captain Marvel, The Marvels was to me. A lot of the Disney Plus shows do not hit for me. Why can't I be excited for the stuff that actually looks cool, okay? I'm not just taking in everything they serve, but people want to hate, How the F did the humans kill the X-Men? That's what I'm telling you. That's why that fan theory I saw about, X-Men versus Avengers, that's a pretty good fan theory, man. If they reveal that in the next movie, that would be a great way to say it, because most of these people are human, Iron Man, Captain America, even Hulk to an extent is a human, although he's got the gamma rays and stuff, Hawkeye, Black Panther, Spider-Man, all these people are humans. Wolverine could have just been choosing his words wisely. The humans came and they killed my X-Men or something like that. You don't know. But, I mean, again, the humans also created the Sentinels in Days of Future Past. That counts as the humans killing X-Men. I am curious. I am very curious about that. We'll see if they ever bring that up again, because I feel like they really did choose their words wisely. Love your video so much. I'm seeing it Wednesday, but spoil myself watching your review since there's no good other videos on YouTube to watch. Ah, red lights, no, buddy. I don't want it to spoil for you if you haven't seen it yet. There's other great YouTubers talking about other stuff. Watch some of the Doom videos or announcements from Comic-Con, man. A lot of good videos to watch right now. My theater went crazy for Blade and Gambit. Super happy for those cameos. Hold an impact for the future of the MCU. I agree. I do think we won't see Blade or Gambit again. Those were fun. Those were great. Even Elektra. I think they're not gonna do it. You know, Wolverine killed my grandma, dude. Well, sorry, Gam. Hope you're okay though. What happened in the beginning of the movie? I missed it. Well, in the beginning, Deadpool flat out unburies Logan, gets his adamantium skull, and uses all 206 bones from that adamantium skull to just flat out murder TVA agents in one of the coolest ways with the song Bye 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 playing. You got to go back to the theater just to watch that opening, man. I thought that opening was great. All right. Hey, Chris, I was in Mexico and decided to try Carl's Jr. meal for Deadpool. It was all right. Not as creative as Jack in the Box, like the cups, though. Okay. I didn't know Carl's Jr. had a meal for them. That's nice. All right. Can Thanos and Kang return as variants in Avengers? I don't think they're bringing in Kang. I'm seeing a lot of people speculate that Jonathan Majors in his Marvel contract, he had it so that in his contract it said only Jonathan Majors can play a Kang variant. And dude, it's crazy. Out of all the variants they have in all the other MCU movies who could be different people, they made it very clear. Anytime there's a Kang variant, it can only be played by Jonathan Majors. And so there's supposedly a clause, even though they fired Kang and Jonathan Majors, there's a clause that says only Jonathan Majors can play Kang. So that's why they didn't recast him and continue on his role and do something with a different actor, which I would have liked to have seen them just continue and finish out the Kang storyline. Especially now we're seeing the divide and backlash with this Doctor Doom news, but it looks like they can't. So I don't know if we'll see a Kang variant in there. A Thanos variant, maybe, but I'm kind of over Thanos showing up. It's like he had his time. He was a big bad. He was a big threat, but let's move on past Thanos and let's see some other villains shine, you know? So that's my opinion on that. Okay. These were the merch leaks back in April. Just tagged you in a pic on Twitter. Okay, I'll check them out. Let's see. These were the merch leaks. Did you do it on the 3C Film? Do it on the 3C Film account. This is the one I use when I live stream, just because the other account sometimes be having bad stuff pop on there. So this is like the filtered one. So tag me on this one, buddy, at 3C Film. Tag me at this one, and I'll look at it. I'll be having it off here off to the side and wait for it. Okay. Henry Cavill or Daniel Radcliffe as MCU Wolverine? I don't know. I really don't know. Because, like, I, of course, want Wolverine whenever they finally do the X-Men movies. But I'm so back and forth on whether most of the mutants should be adults or kids. Which you'll see when I finish my X-Men reviews, I didn't mind Cyclops, Jean, Storm coming in when they were teenagers, because as a fan, I kind of like seeing them go from teenagers who don't know how to use their powers to learning responsibility and getting better with their powers, evolving with them, and eventually taking over the X-Men and building that team. I would love to see that progression done right in the MCU. But also, if they just jump in after Secret Wars and Cyclops is already the lead of the X-Men and he's like a 30-year-old guy, okay, then yeah, bring in Henry Cavill or Daniel Radcliffe. I wouldn't mind either. If I had to choose, kind of want Henry. Henry just looks so good. Like Deadpool said, it just feels right. Great meeting you at the New York premiere. Fun movie. Hey, man, well, glad you came up and said hi to me. I love meeting fans. You guys are so awesome. All right. I feel like it should be Doom, not a Tony variant. This Doom should be a different reality where he's defeated Avengers and Fantastic Four, takes Tony's body. If they do that, I could see it work, right? Because now that I'm getting caught up on, Infamous Iron Man, because I'm not going to pretend like I read that story before the announcement. No, I'm going to pick up the comic digitally and read it and find out what this is about, if this is where they take an inspiration from. But from what I'm reading so far, this is Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom, who takes over Tony Stark's body. Could that be the thing that happens here? Yeah, I could maybe see that happening and whatnot. I just want it to make sense. It's crazy that we have gotten 3 versions of Doctor Doom, and all 3 versions are not the traditional version. That's like if we got 3 Spider-Men on screen, but they did Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Man 2099, and then Spider-Ham, and they never gave us traditional Peter Parker in New York. You know, it's like, what's going on? But it's that thing Marvel likes to do, is subvert expectations and do the opposite. Yeah, that's why I am kind of scared for when they do X-Men. Because the X-Men movies, oh, here it is. Oh, nice, some merch leaks. These keychains and stuff. Yeah, they never did any of this stuff, especially that Deadpool talking to Captain America and all that. Would have been funny though. This could have just been fun promotion. But like, since the X-Men movies already have touched upon some of the most famous storylines in the X-Men world, Kevin Feige's policy when adapting these movies for the MCU is to not copy what they've already done. So that means we're not going to see the Dark Phoenix storyline. We're not going to see the Apocalypse storyline. We're not going to see the Days of Future Past storyline, which to some people, they're like, okay, good. They already did that. Why would we want to see that again? I would like to see a more comic accurate version of that, or a different take on that sometimes. Just like with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because we already gotten Dr. Octopus, we already got Green Goblin, we already got Electro, we already got that. They never gave Tom Holland his own versions of those characters. Instead, they just used the multiverse to give us a Willem Dafoe Green Goblin, which was cool. But I also would not mind seeing Tom Holland's actual Green Goblin and his enemy without the multiverse involved. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm kind of wondering, what storylines will they adapt, or what are they going to touch upon? Because the whole reason they're doing this version of Doom, a Tony Stark variant, is because we already got a kind of, a kind of Doom in the original 2000s movies and another Doom in the Fantastic movies. So it feels like they are trying to do something wildly different that we weren't used to, and that doesn't always sit well with fans, right? Okay. Is Blade going to be after Secret Wars, since they softly reboot the MCU? I also saw it was going to be rated R. Yeah, Kevin Feige, I think, even confirmed it, right? He said Kevin Feige, Blade R. Kevin Feige does confirm it. Kevin Feige confirms MCU Blade movie is being developed with an R rating. I think that's cool. I think it could work. I want to see that. I mean, it's a movie about a guy killing vampires and stuff. There's got to be a lot of blood in there. I think it'll have to be after the MCU soft reboot, after Secret Wars. I don't see how you fit in Blade into this story, right? It's going to be a crammed movie. Okay, not sure how late into the stream I am, or if this has already been brought up. No worries, I don't mind talking about subjects again. But Channing Tatum as Gambit was something I was waiting years for. Yeah, I had so much fun with that. The costume was ridiculous. His accent was ridiculous. And even if I'm being honest with you, Channing Tatum does not fit the look for Gambit, in my opinion. I'm not calling him fat or chubby or whatnot, but he's wider set. He's more bulkier than I would like a Gambit. I do think a Gambit should be kind of slinky, more like slimmed and whatnot, and acrobatic. But since it was played up as a joke, and even Gambit was flat out making the most idiotic comments of, I shot out of my daddy's balls right into my mama. It's like, I had fun with that. I thought, and his action scene he got where he was like the cards, and then he's like, tuk, tuk, tuk. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. When will Cage Ghost Rider get a cameo? Secret Wars, baby. Like I'm saying, they're saving some of these people for Secret Wars. Cage as Ghost Rider would be a pretty dope thing to see, especially if he's alongside Wolverine, Tobey Maguire. That would be pretty cool. Okay. With the Avengers movie coming in 2026 and 2027, do you think a new Spider-Man movie releases? Also, love the channel. Congrats on the new setup. Hey, thank you for that. That's hard to say, man. Because now knowing Tony Stark, now knowing Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom, they're going to play into that whole narrative of like Spider-Man feeling conflicted to fight somebody that looks like his mentor, that looks like the person he looks up to. That's just going to be a storyline they do. There's no way they avoid that, right? So with that, we heard rumors Spider-Man is going to be a very huge character for the next 2 Avenger movies, because he's one of the only Avenger characters that everyone still loves. They don't have an Iron Man. They don't have a Steve Rogers Captain America, or even a Chadwick Boseman Black Panther. the only people that like are mostly universally loved right now is Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. Other than that, it's divisive. It's just pocket groups of people they like. So you're right. I'm like, do they do a Spider-Man movie right now? Could they even fit that in before Secret Wars and whatnot? Like, it'd be so weird to have Spider-Man lead into Secret Wars or the Doomsday, right? I don't know. So many questions up in the air. 3C, will you finish 3C platter for the rest of the food? Will you finish 3C platter for the rest of the food? I mean, 3C platter ain't dead. My variant lives on, and whenever there's a tie-in merch for a movie I'm hyped about, 3C platter will be there to eat it all up. All right. What do you think about RDJ as Doom hate? I love the fact he's coming back, especially the Russo's brothers are back as well. They'll do RDJ justice. I was, I'll be honest with you, I was pretty hyped whenever, because like I like Robert Downey Jr. and that whole idea of going from the savior of the universe to now being the main villain, and the story potential you have against Spider-Man and all that. I was like, this could work. This could honestly be something interesting. But the more I would see genuine arguments on why this doesn't work, where it's like, okay, one, this is now the third Doom that you don't do right. He's not the ruler of Latveria. He's not Romanian. And Romania is like a very important part of his backstory. That's gone now. Okay, that does suck. Two, Doom is a character who's supposed to keep his mask on at all times. He has a scarred face. He's humiliated by that, so he keeps his mask on at all time. They got Robert Downey Jr. in there, baby. They're not going to cover that face up. That face is a moneymaker. Doom is rarely going to be wearing the mask, or we're going to be seeing that Iron Man view inside the mask for a lot of the movie, and that takes away something from Doctor Doom. Also, we're all talking about, I can't wait to see Doctor Doom and Spider-Man interact and have that face-off because of how much it'll mean. Doctor Doom is a Fantastic Four villain. We should be excited about seeing Doom versus Reed Richards. And I'm like, every time I see an argument, I'm like, I can't argue with you. That I understand why you're mad and frustrated. The only thing I'm hoping for is after they soft reboot, after Secret Wars, we'll get the traditional Doctor Doom, and he'll be part of Fantastic Four 2 and 3, right? Because no way they just do one Fantastic Four movie and they don't do a trilogy. They got to do a trilogy, right? But I even was thinking about this, guys, and I'm sorry to go off on a tangent. With the Fantastic Four news, right? Let me bring that up. We're about to see the Fantastic Four 3 times in the MCU after their first movie, right? We're seeing them once in their Fantastic Four movie. Then we're going to see them a second time in Doomsday, because they already confirmed they'll be part of that movie. And then a third time in Secret Wars. A lot of the times Marvel, they have three film contract appearances. Could they actually recast the entire Fantastic Four and start anew after the soft reboot? And we'll be following a whole new Fantastic Four? I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds weird, but that would be 3 appearances of the Fantastic Four playing large parts of these movies, because, Doctor Doom is the villain here. After Secret Wars, could then we see a whole new... Because since this movie takes place in an alternate universe, after Secret Wars, this Fantastic Four will be part of the sacred timeline, the main MCU. So will they recast? Will they be different people? Lot to, I don't know. I'm curious, man. I'm curious about what happens after Secret Wars. Honestly, what I would most want after Secret Wars is a 5-year break. After Secret Wars, have the movie end with you mashing the worlds together. So now we have the Fantastic Four here. The mutants already exist from the beginning of time. You have an Iron Man actor come in. Doesn't have to be Robert Downey Jr. It could be somebody else. Whether it's Steve Rogers or you keep Sam Wilson as the main Captain America. You have a fully built MCU where everyone is alive and active. You close the movie like that, and you give us a break for like 5-10 years, and then you start back up the MCU. I don't know. Because I feel like we need a break, right? But I doubt they're going to take a break. Okay. What are some things you wished to see pop up in Deadpool and Wolverine? Cyclops. Cyclops was my number one thing. I really did want to see Cyclops in there. And I thought they were going to be in there whenever Wolverine mentions. He's like, Scott, Storm, Jean, they all begged me to wear this suit. I'm like, oh, he's teasing them. We're going to see them. And I thought there was going to be some closure to that, where Wolverine gets to see his X-Men and apologize or say something to them. And I feel like that's why And that's why I feel Wolverine is coming in Secret Wars, and that's where we'll see James Marsden, Halle Berry, all those actors come in, because Wolverine's going to get that closure to sacrifice himself for a version of his X-Men and, fulfill something in him of like, I let them down, but now I'm going to save them in the multiverse some kind of way, I feel like they're building towards that. How did the universe exist before Logan was born? Well, those are definitely questions that make you wonder if, Logan is an anchor being. How does the universe even work? I think that's just things we think about too hard. It's just stuff that like we know somewhere down the line, this anchor being will exist. They'll be important. I mean, even myself, I'm thinking about, well, what if Logan just died of natural causes? Like he lived to be 300, 400, however Logan lives to be, and he just dies from being old man. Does that mean the universe is still in danger after a natural death, or is it only if his death is interrupted and it's not for natural? It's like all this stuff as a fan, you like really peep into and want answers, but I don't think we're meant to like think that hard on it. It was kind of sad, but in my theater, every cameo got applause but Elektra. When she came on screen, nobody seemed to care. I mean, like I said, great on Jennifer Gardner for wanting to come in, do that. I bet nowhere in her life did she expect she'd be playing Elektra again this late into her life, or anyone even cared. But yeah, they clapped in my theater, but it's because it was the premiere and they were clapping at everything. Nobody was clapping the second time, and yeah, I don't know how many people were genuinely happy or excited to see her back, but it was kind of cool. It was cool they made her work. They grabbed Deadpool from the point because it was the point when he wanted purpose to be an Avenger. Uh, okay, you know what? That maybe makes sense. You're right. So if like, but then that another fan who sent in a super chat earlier, then they would be right then if they did pull Deadpool from the past before Logan dies, and Deadpool just knows Logan is dead because he has that fourth wall break and knows that'll eventually happen. Then they're right. There is two Wolverines in that universe, and they have a problem because Logan doesn't die for another 20, 30 years through the events. Again, it's confusing either way. It's confusing either way. Hey, Chris, you going to get any of the Adidas collab? Bruh, I don't know. I'm a Nike boy. Nike has been my brand since I was a kid. Ever since I saw those Nikes in Back to the Future, the self-lacing ones, the Back to the Future 2 Nikes, always been a Nike fan. Never touched Adidas, but I might have to touch them for those because those were kind of cool. But I don't know. Okay. When we get the dang 3 Sonic trailer, I think when Transformers 1 is coming to theaters, that they'll probably want it right in front of Transformers 1. So a month and a half, in a month. Okay, how would you explain Deadpool and Wolverine in the MCU timeline 6 years after 2018 would be 2023? So it takes place shortly after Loki season 1 and 2. How would you explain Deadpool and Wolverine in the MCU timeline 6 years after 20? Oh, yeah, that makes sense, does it not? Because after Loki season 2, Loki is now the one who's the head of the timeline. He's in that chair stuck forever, making sure everybody can live their universe and be happy. B-15 is one of the head people in charge. She's not just a regular TV agent. That makes sense. I don't see the confusion there. I think it works. I don't know. Yeah. I watched Deadpool and Wolverine 2 days ago. I really enjoyed it, and people in my theater also enjoy it. Yeah, this was a crowd pleaser. I mean, if you even go to the cinema score, right? Deadpool Wolverine cinema score, it got an A, meaning audiences flat out loved it. Like, yeah, A is good. And A is rare for an R-rated movie because they either show blood, nudity, cursing, things that turn people off to go, ah. But all 3 Deadpool movies have gotten an A, whether an A+ or A-. So audiences loved it. It's just really us picky fans who like pick at it, and you have every right to if you got a valid complaint. Okay, Blade still has the best opening. Deadpool and Wolverine comes close. All right, I don't blame you. That is a pretty cool opening in Blade. Do you think Fantastic Four will do better than Superman? I don't know. I need to see the Superman footage first, because I have a lot of faith in Superman, and I feel like there's been a lot of talk, and I think even most general audiences are aware it's the start of a new universe. And when you're kind of starting, everybody wants to be part of that first journey. Fantastic Four, I think it'll be big because those are legacy characters. Those are characters that were famous before Iron Man or even Captain America because of the older 2000s movies. I'm gonna say Fantastic Four does better. But I need to see that Superman trailer first. I need to see the Superman trailer first. Do you think there will be multiple versions of Doom, like how it was portrayed on stage? RDJ might be the main, but eventually one will betray him. That would be a good way to do it, but I still feel some people would complain. They'll either complain that, Robert Downey Jr. is Doom, or they'll complain that he was a lame Doom that got killed by another Doom. So it was like, why wasn't this Doom just the main Doom? Okay, you were obviously doing it for cash grab. I think there's like just like Doctor Strange in freaking Infinity War, where he's like, out of how many realities do we get this right? One out of a trillion or something like that. This is literally Marvel. How many realities do they get this Doctor Doom and Robert Downey Jr. Thing right? One in a trillion, and we'll see if they get it right. I have hope though. I kind of want to see it. All right. What's better, No Way Home or Deadpool and Wolverine? By the way, people mad at having RDJ back are just dumb. More fans equal more movies and less TV shows. I will say I want more movies and less TV shows. I'm not going to call the people complaining dumb. I think they valid reasons. And let's admit it, even if you're excited, which, like I said, I'm leaning towards excitement on this because I want to see how that would play out. I can admit it's a desperate move. Russo's and RDJ back, that was a desperate move, but let's see if it pays off, right? Let's see here. Better than No Way Home. I think I still like No Way Home better, but that's because I'm a Spider-Man shill. But I still enjoy Deadpool and Wolverine a lot. The MCU is 5 years ahead. That is why Logan is dead. The MCU is 5 years ahead. That's why Logan is dead. Maybe, but I mean, like, everything is happening at different times, in my opinion, I think, right? Or kinda? I don't know. You're making my head hurt, but yeah, you got a point there. It would have been hilarious if at the end of Deadpool, Deadpool killed all the Kangs in the multiverse, so that would explain them scrapping the Kang era. That would have been hilarious, but that would have pissed people off too. That would have been like, what a lazy way to do it. Although it would have been really funny. I was surprised the post-credit scene for Deadpool and Wolverine didn't have more of an impact or a tease, and it was just more of a joke continuing on the cameo of Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. But good on Marvel for not wanting to continuing making promises they don't even know if they can keep. Because that end credit scene with Kang in the stadium, we're not going to see a closure to that, dude. I don't think we will. Why was Shatterstar brought back to life and was at Deadpool's party, but Domino wasn't? I thought Deadpool didn't like him because he was a tool. I'm sure there was probably some sort of scheduling conflict. What's the actress's name who plays Domino? Actress. Zazie Beetz. Oh, she's a gorgeous woman, by the way. And I would have been nice to see her part of the movie. And I saw some people saying she should have been part of the team in The Void, and that would have been really cool because I think her powers are so cool. She's lucky, and so she gets all this stuff that just happens to her. But I think it was just scheduling conflicts. I think she just had other things to do and couldn't make it, or maybe it was a budget issue. Who knows? But yeah, it kind of sucks that she wasn't brought in. Okay. Do you think Secret Wars will be R-rated? Because no. In fact, it's going to be PG-13, and Deadpool in there is just going to be funnier because he's censored. There's going to be so many jokes where he wants to say a bad word, and it'll be bleeped, or he'll want to say something. He's like, darn it, PG-13. I got to remember. They're going to make that work. I would have loved to see Magic because of all the Mad Max references. Dude, yeah, and Anya Taylor-Joy from New Mutants in there throwing in, and she was Furiosa. That Furiosa joke was pretty funny. She's like, "Your queen, Furiosa." That was a pretty funny one. That one made me laugh. All right. Rising Sun Pictures, the VFX company in South Australia, worked on Deadpool and Wolverine, which makes their first time doing a Deadpool movie and now a fifth X-Men movie. Oh, good on the Rising Sun Pictures. I didn't think all the CGI was... I thought most of it was really well done, but some people didn't like it. What do you think of the theory of Iron Man being the MCU... a theory. I said it in my spoiler review, buddy. It's definite. After this Doom news, Iron Man is definitely the anchor of the MCU timeline. No doubt about it. Also, do you think Doctor Doom will show up in Fantastic Four? Yeah, I think he will. Because I was also thinking, dude, you announced this kind of far out. This movie comes out in 2026, right? We're in 2024, so we still got about 2 years. the hype, the anticipation. Like we already know now, Robert Downey Jr. is back in the MCU. That mystery is over. We all thought he would be back for sure in Secret Wars, but now that mystery is gone. And in a year now, knowing the knowledge Robert Downey Jr. is back either way, how hyped is that, you know? So I think they did this because he's definitely going to be part of the Fantastic Four. Whether I don't think he's going to have a large role, maybe he just has an end credit scene or there's like a cameo moment or like a small scene. I think Robert Downey Jr. shows up as Doctor Doom in Fantastic Four, but I don't even know if I want him to be the Doctor Doom of that universe. I'd rather him be from another universe. You know, the Fantastic Four in one world, MCU's here, and this Doctor Doom is from this world, and that Fantastic Four has their own Doom that is Victor Von Doom, the traditional one, and they can make that work. I don't know, man. We got to see it play out. Okay. The Human Torch in Deadpool Wolverine is supposedly a variant of the one from the 2000s Fantastic Four movies. I think he could be part of the John Krasinski's the Human Torch is supposedly a variant from the ones in the 2004 movies. I think he could be a part. You know, that's not a bad idea, but his suit didn't look at all like the suit from John Krasinski in Multiverse of Madness. I think he's definitely the variant from the 2000s movies, the Fox movies. I mean, they show the footage at the end during the credits of those films, and I think it makes it clear. It just sucks that all his other Fantastic Four members died, you know? All right, continuing on here. You think we will ever see Robert Downey Jr. as Doom in Fantastic Four movie or in the credit scene? Credit scene, I feel like 100%. In the movie, maybe one scene. I don't think he's going to be a large part because they already have too much going on in that movie. At least I think. Happy that you thought that you went to your first premiere. Wish I could have met you in New York. Oh, thank you for that, man. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, I think our DJ shows up in the credit scene for sure. It's gonna be part. Whether a role in the movie, I don't know. I'm thinking about it, right? All right, Doctor Doom needs to kill a popular character easily in the beginning of Doomsday to show his power, kind of like how Thanos killed Loki in Infinity War. Yeah, they have to do something like that, right? They have to show this evil because unfortunately, since their Kang storyline didn't work out and they had to scrounge around for this desperate move, which it is, you know, let's just be honest, they now need to build up RDJ as fast as they can as Doom and make him feel like a threat. And the quickest way to do that, I think he's just going to be the one to kill all the Kang variants. That might be the opening. But it's like, how do you do that without showing Jonathan Majors, you know? That's going to be tough. Especially since it doesn't look like Disney wants to bring him back, right? But and again, I don't know about killing Thanos because they've already killed Thanos in so many other Marvel things, whether it's Multiverse of Madness or in different episodes of Marvel What If, like the Ultron Infinity Stone one where he lasers Thanos in half. They've done it so much it doesn't have an effect. He needs to go to like a variant universe and kill like an Avenger team flat out like that. Do something like that, right? Okay. Doctor Doom in the Marvel universe, who actually are Tony Stark. One of these is Iron Maniac, introduced in the 2004 team-up number 3. But Deadpool and Wolverine, good movie. Yeah, well, I'm for sure curious about that. And there's so much backlash online of people mad about this Doctor Doom stuff. I feel like come Monday, there's going to be an article release from Deadline or Hollywood Reporter where it's like an interview with Kevin Feige and he clarifies some details that maybe will ease fans or could just piss them off more. Because I think if we just stay in this radio silence, you're going to continue to see the hate. I definitely want some more clarification on how this will work, but I think it's going to be a patient game. We're just going to have to wait and see for answers in Fantastic Four or in other movies, right? Okay. They should have delayed Secret Wars and built up Reed and Doom's relationship instead of having Doom be a one-off variant like Green Goblin in No Way Home. I agree. The only thing though is I know he's not gonna. It'd be crazy if he was a one-off. Like if Robert Downey Jr. is only the villain in Doomsday, but he's not the villain in Secret Wars, it's gonna be like, wow, that's really how they brought Robert back. Okay. I think he's the villain for these next 2 movies, whether we like it or not. But I agree. This should have been a buildup. This should have been something they were working towards. It would have been so much more satisfying. And if it was the Doctor Doom with the traditional origin from Latveria and Romania and stuff like that. So Yeah, I agree. And it makes you wonder then, even if they introduce a traditional Doom after Secret Wars, is anyone going to care? Because we just saw bigger Doom come out, you know? It's like, why would we care about a smaller scale story with this Doom when we just had Ultimate Doom played by RDJ? And also, I want to make it clear, even the people who are mad and complaining, general audiences, they seem to love this. If you go to my Instagram, my TikToks, and it's just the regular people who aren't in this movie space, they love this. Granted, my dad, he did call me and he's like, no me gusta. Se me hace raro. I don't like it. My dad was like, I don't like this. I think it's weird. And I was like, all right, I guess my dad's one of us. A movie nerd who cares a little too much. All right. The CGI was unnecessary. Crawling CGI was the worst. I will say the CGI was unnecessary during the jump scene from the bus, and you have Wolverine looking like a video game character. I will agree that. I didn't mind the CGI of him crawling, although Hugh Jackman looks amazing for 55 years old, dude. I'm straight, but let's just say this Wolverine and me had a good time during that rip-off shirt scene. But no, but it's like, dude is in his 55s. He's seen actual Robert Downey, freaking Hugh Jackman crawl like that would have been a little hard to do. Sometimes things like that are necessary, unfortunately. Why is everyone so critical of the MCU and rate IG? And rate IG. Okay, I'll have to figure out what you mean by rate IG. But I think people are just mad. I think it's just because some people are waking up to the obvious fan service of it, and it doesn't feel genuine to them. It doesn't feel like, because you got in some of the stuff in Deadpool and Wolverine, it's fan service. But as a fan, I feel service and I didn't mind it. I had a good time. Like, if I want to talk about fan service that I felt was lazy, the post-credit scene of the Marvels. That movie was ed to me, but just having X-Men be a post-credit scene for the Marvels, it doesn't make sense to me. And having Beast in there, I was like, okay, that's a random. But, you know, the Russo brothers back. Robert Downey Jr. in there. It's obvious what they're trying to do with all the hate they've been getting. I think people are just waking up and seeing that it's obviously pandering to fans when it's like, take the risk. Just cast an act, or you should have just made it Superior Iron Man. Like, I'm seeing so many things could have been fixed if they called the movie like Avengers Suit of Armor, in reference to like when Iron Man and Ultron was like a suit of armor around the world. Let's follow Superior Iron Man, an evil Iron Man who fully went through with his plan of just having the world be run by him because he feels he's protecting the world that way, and he goes as far as the multiverse. That could have worked. There's no reason to have made it Doom, honestly, if you think about it, other than the fact most non-comic book fans know who Doom is. They know who Robert Downey Jr. is, and it works. I think that's where the critical stuff comes from. But at the same time, you know, yeah, like I'm seeing some here. The criticism is valid, and I agree. I agree. I do think some people go way overboard, and I hate the people who make fun of those excited. Because I'm like, there's no reason to do that. There's no reason to be like, of course, the brain dead babies are eating this up and thinking it's awesome. It's like, well, don't go saying that. You can be critical, but don't make fun of fans who are excited for this. Like, at the end of the day, they're just happy to see a movie and they continue on with their lives, you know? But yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes on. I lost my place here. 1 second, guys. Uh uh Give me a second. Let me just pull up where I think I was. Jeez Louise, dead air, Chris, dead air. I shouldn't have clicked off. Okay, here. I can see the views go dead. Sorry. I'm looking for what I'm clicking. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Why is everyone so critical? Okay, good. Reed, our editor, says here, do you think it's the worst of the three? No. I'll be honest, I don't love Deadpool 2 as much as other people. I do really like that movie, and I think I think the emotional parts is good, the jokes are good, but I don't know why I've seen that movie so many times because they're always playing it like on TNT when I just randomly put something on TV. And so, like, I don't know. I love for Deadpool 2 isn't as high. I still love Deadpool 1. To me, Deadpool 1 is miles ahead of the first the other two, but I don't think it's the worst. Ghostface in Mortal Kombat video when it comes out. Maybe on the Clips channel. Do you think they'll re-edit the movies on Disney Plus? Do you think they'll re-edit the movies on Disney Plus? I don't think so. No. I mean, they have Hulu movies on Disney. The other day, I went on to Disney Plus and I have my Hulu attached to it, and the movie Sex Drive was on there. And I'm like, I'm on Disney Plus and I'm staring at a movie called Sex Drive. Thank you, Mickey Mouse. I don't think they'll do that. Uh, I love to rewatch all your Child's Play 2219 updates. Oh, well, thank you. I missed that era. I missed that era for sure. Matthew McConaughey as Cowboy Pool and Nathan Fillion as Head. Oh, Nathan Fillion was Headpool. I didn't even know that. Were some cool and sneaky cameos. I hope that Deadpool corpse returns someday. It could be fun, but I don't know how much. I even saw my lady was telling me she saw a TikTok where the kid in Deadpool was Ryan Reynolds' daughter. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. So he got his wife and his daughter in there. Okay. I believe they need to end the multiverse after Secret Wars. 100% agree. Because confusion and low stakes. Reboot and MCU make the stories more street level. I saw a great take that someone mentioned. I was so excited for the multiverse saga when it was announced, but it's because I feel like there could have been so many cool stories. But the multiverse saga has only been used for cameos and nostalgia bait. You know, while I love Toby and Andrew, it's just nostalgia bait, right? These cameos, Elektra, Blade, Gambit, they're in a way nostalgia bait. Even if we never got a Gambit movie, we know that's an inside fan servicey thing. They never used the multiverse storyline to do something interesting or crazy. They never had the balls to give us, like, I don't know, an Iron Man played by a different actor, a Tom Cruise, and make him superior Iron Man in fight, right? It's like they didn't do that. Like, the multiverse has only been used for fan service and Easter eggs, and that's a waste of that storyline, which is, I think, why a lot of people were disappointed with the multiverse saga. So I agree. And even Feige said, after Secret Wars, we're done with the multiverse. We're not going to have the multiverse, and we're going to be focused on the mutants. And so I think that's a smart way to go. We'll just be focusing on X-Men stories and maybe other characters, and get rid of the multiverse. Okay. Hey, bro, no question. Just throwing you some love. Ah, dude, thank you so much, Matthew Nguyen. That means a lot to me. Appreciate you, man. Jackson Play 30 says, when Spider-Man came in, that was insane, dog. Especially when Omni-Man threw that train. Jokes aside, Deadpool saying, suck it, Fox, was funny. I'm gonna say a hot take here. I thought that joke was going overboard. I was like, there's a couple of jokes in here where I was like, it crosses the line. Not when I say cross the line, I don't mean like, oh, Deadpool took it too far. That's not funny. I just mean like trying too hard. If that makes sense. Like, that wasn't that funny to me when he like goes to the camera, hits it and goes, suck it, Fox, I'm going to Disneyland. I was like, trying too hard a little. Just a little. But if you thought it was funny, I don't blame you, man, because a lot of my theater was laughing during that too. Let's see here. Lionel said, let's just send them some support. Thank you so much. iRush always sends in some support. Appreciate that, my friend. Wolverine's mask having expressive eyes. 10 out of 10. It is nice to see. I feel like when we get DCU Batman, James Gunn's finally going to do the expressive eyes, and I don't know whether I should be excited or not, because while I was somebody during the Robert Pattinson, Matt Reeves days, before we saw that movie, who was begging for the white eyes because I think they would look cool, the way Robert Pattinson's eyes and acting really expressed and really brought to the performance, I'm glad we didn't get the white eyes in the Batman. So I don't know if I want the white eyes now in the DCU, because I'm like, sometimes it just looks weird and it makes the whole face look CGI-ish. So, but during some scenes, it was pretty cool to finally have. I'm not going to lie. So I get why you mean 10 out of 10. I don't know if this question was asked yet. I'm late. What do you think of the opening dance when the scene Bye 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 played? I love the opening. It hyped me up, made me feel energetic. I thought the dance moves were great. I just hate that I now know it was not Ryan Reynolds in the suit and it was a dancer. Props to the dancer, but it would have been so much funnier to me just knowing Ryan Reynolds was in the suit when that happened, right? But 10 out of 10 opening. I love that opening. What do you think of the clip from the Fox movies during the credits? Emotional and sweet. That to me really let me know, although they made fun of Fox and they poked a lot of fun at Fox, and even, Deadpool says, suck it, Fox. That opening to me let me know they're grateful for that time. This was an homage. This was paying respects. Yeah, we're going to make fun of them a little bit, but we would not exist without these Fox movies and this era, and we're happy we lived in it. And so I loved it. The music was sweet, the behind the scenes, the quotes they brought up, I loved it. I thought it was a sweet montage. Okay, what leaks do you think were Marvel? What leaks do you think were Marvel made? Oh, dude, like the leaks that they let out? Oh, I don't even know. Freaking the Gambit one, maybe, or the Johnny Storm X-Men, Johnny Storm one. I don't know if did this movie have a lot of leaks where people were predicting. I think the only leak that like actually came out was Elektra. That was the only like official leak, and that's because it was by the Hollywood Reporter. It wasn't a scooper. So I think like the Elektra leak was one of the only ones fabricated, and it's because she's probably the least exciting cameo. No offense to Elektra fans. So yeah. The best joke was when Blade used the hard R word. I am surprised, but it goes to show you Disney was there because that R word is usually a big no-no now. You know, you're not allowed to say that nowadays. And you know, Deadpool even makes fun of you, like, "Oh, the woke mob's going after you." But yeah, can't cancel Blade. Do you think we'll get a Nick Cage Ghost Rider cameo at some point? Secret Wars, baby. I think so. It would bring the house down, his head and all that next to Wolverine and all that. Heck yeah. I think we're getting in Secret Wars. Can you please shout out Von Sway Hendricks? Von Sway Hendricks, thank you so much. Shout out Von Sway Hendricks. All right. Doom React, the next Superman is Jonah Hill. Yeah, dude. I understand. Some people were not happy, man. I wish I could see Kevin Feige's face to all the reactions of Robert Downey Jr. and Doom, because you know he walked off that stage going, Doom, MCU fell off. What now, homies? What? They hate it. No, dude, I can't imagine. Or maybe he anticipated the hate and he's like, I'm gonna prove you suckers wrong. I don't know. Does it mean the MCU can be rated R? Yeah, I think the MCU can be rated R in some moments. I think Blade will be one if they do a Midnight Suns movie, yeah. If they do a Ghost Rider movie, yeah. I don't know what else, but yeah, I think they could do it rated R now if they want. They just have to make it clear to the audience, this is rated R. Funko Pop collection video in your new house. Ooh, maybe after I add some more because I don't have that much new stuff. Isn't Spider-Man a mutant? And please explain red lights. I think in the comics, they sometimes classify Spider-Man as a mutant. I know they explain that, like, the spider biting Spider-Man wasn't necessarily that it gave him powers. Is it more that it unlocked the mutant gene Peter Parker had? And so sometimes he's classified as a mutant and he can join their team. I don't think they're going to take that as canon, though. I think it'd be cool to see Spider-Man be part of the X-Men every now and then because I do like him interacting with them, but I don't think they're going to classify him as a mutant. Hey, Chris, first ever dono. Love your content. I've been watching you since your Ghostbusters 2016 review. Love your Child's Play reboot videos. Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you so much. Just finished it. Bro, amazing. Loved it. Funny AF. Yeah, it's hard not to walk away just having a good time. Is it the best MCU movie? No, but it's one of the funniest and just like a nice theater experience, you know? Did Taylor Swift show up in the movie? No, T Swizzle did not show up, and I guess it's all right that she didn't. She didn't really need to be in there. Blake Lively was warranted as Lady Deadpool. Big fan 3C. Thank you, Trenchman. Keep being cool, and I hope you get the McFarlane Joker set. Oh, maybe. I don't collect many McFarlanes, but they do look cool. Theory: Doom will be killing Anchor's. Oh, Benji, I like this. Okay, Doom will be killing Anchor beings, and thus the multiverse. TVA will assemble a multiverse Avengers to stop him, but the MCU already lost their anchor being Tony, so they will have a limited time before their doomsday arrives. Not a bad theory. I like that. The only problem with that is they mention, it takes thousands of years sometimes for that universe to die. So yeah, he can kill them, but then is Doom going to wait 1,000 so years for that universe to die? Who knows? But I like that theory. That's a good way for him to just go around just killing anchor beings. That could be cool. I was shocked Taylor Swift wasn't Dazzler. Yeah, I was expecting her to be Lady Deadpool or Dazzler, and I was shocked she didn't even show up once in the movie, man. All right. Is Earth 1005 X-Men Universe MCU now? No. It's its own separate universe. They keeping it separate. They say at the end of TVA, they're like, you saved your universe, Deadpool. It's not in danger of dying. But with Secret Wars and worlds clashing, we'll see if it stays that way. But no, as of right now, that Fox universe still in its own timeline, just like the Sony Morbius, Madam Web, Venomverse, all those things are in their own universe, separate from the MCU. I would have loved to see Nick Cage as Ghost Rider in Deadpool 3. Yeah, that would have been cool. But like I said, I think they're saving some of those cameos for the bigger movies. But that's the problem and why some people don't like these movies. They feel they're just cameo fest. So I hope the stories they bust out in Doomsday and Secret Wars overtop whatever cameos they plan to introduce. Why is there no more Jack superhero and villains? What are you talking about? Henry Cavill was just in there as a Cavalier, and his muscles were bigger than my head. Hugh Jackman Wolverine was 55 years old with washboard abs. I was beginning to think they CGI'd those abs because his body looked a little too perfect for 55 years old. I don't know about you. Jack superheroes still exist, buddy. But, that's just me. Hey 3C, big fan. Love Deadpool and Wolverine. 9 out of 10. Do you think RDJ's Doom will appear in Fantastic Four? Yeah, I agree. In the end credits. Definitely appearing in the end credits. I wonder how they're going to make that make sense, though. Is Victor Von... What if they just merge the character? What if Victor Von Doom is just Tony Stark in that universe? And in that Fantastic Four world, Victor Von Doom is like Tony Stark, where he has Stark Towers, so he has Doom Towers, and he's a smart corporate man doing all this. And Reed Richards, obviously, with his own stuff, the Baxter Building, his own research, all that kind of stuff, they're rivals, they're Apple and Samsung in a weird way. And that rivalry is kind of what fuels Victor Von Doom. Maybe this is making make sense, but this is gonna piss off some people because it's like that's not as cool as the regular Von Doom storyline, and you're probably right. But maybe that's what they do is they just name drop Victor Von Doom, RDJ, and he's like, oh yeah, Doom Industries, they're working on the space program, but us at Baxter Industries, we're gonna make it to the moon first, and they get their powers. You don't know. Yeah. All these people, please stop the pain. No, Victor Von Doom isn't Tony Stark. See, I agree. That's why I totally understand. It's like I'm putting myself in the shoes of my Spider-Man fan self whenever they gave Mysterio that backstory that more connected him to Tony Stark. I hated that backstory because I was like, I want villains that are personal connections to Peter Parker. I don't want a Green Goblin that's mad at another Peter Parker from another universe. I want this Peter to have his own villains that aren't. So I get it. Let's see here. Okay. What are some other R-rated projects you want from Marvel? I want an R-rated Midnight Suns. I agree. P.S. Can't wait for Spidey to meet Deadpool. Do you know Daredevil? I know Daredevil works as a series and whatnot. Give him a movie. And give Punisher a movie too while you're at it, and just do that stuff, man. I loved the Punisher movie as a kid with Thomas Jane. So I would want another Punisher movie, man. Or a Daredevil movie. Since you're already making him a mature character, give us an R-rated Daredevil. That would be so dope. Just want to say thank you for being my favorite creator on here. Thank you so much for saying that. For all the movie news, I open YouTube to see your videos every time, but your Calvary... Every time, but your covering opinion. Oh, well, thank you, man. That means a lot, Tristan Clark. When you guys watch me and come to me, that means a lot. Like, even just when I did the breakdown video for Comic-Con, I was not the fastest guy. I know Heavy Spoilers had his video out first, Real Rejects, all great YouTubers, new rock stars and all that. And so I was like, man, no one's going to watch my video. And we made it to the trending page. So I love that you guys come for me, even if you already know the news. That means a lot. Hey, Deadpool 3 made the timelines of the universe confusing. At the end, didn't Wade not enter the MCU and stay in his own universe? Yeah, he stayed in his own universe. So they're keeping that Fox universe, and I think they're keeping it to be, how do I say, the R-rated universe where they can do filthy things, and that way they can keep their Disney stuff happy, Did Pyro take Johnny's powers, or did he absorb them where he could recharge them later? I don't think he stole his powers. I think he took away enough where he was, drained for a bit. And, it probably took him a couple hours to be able to ignite back up. But I also think Johnny was smart enough that he's like, there's no point me turning Flame On in front of Cassandra Nova because she's that powerful. I'm not going to do much in my Flame On form. But I doubt he like completely eliminated Johnny's powers. He just probably like numbed him for a bit and he had to recharge in like 2 or 3 hours or something like that. I don't know. That's my headcanon. Hey Chris, just turned 18 today, and I saw Deadpool and Wolverine for my birthday. I love this movie. I loved it as a comic book movie, but there were some things lacking. Now that I'm 18, casino time. Oh, dude, do not take me to the casino. Like I said, I went to the casinos once. I won $5,000 off a jackpot machine. It was my birthday. I was excited. Every year I've gone back, I just lose money. And so I was like, I need to stay away. The casino, I just got lucky that one time. But good luck there, man. What'd you say? Love this movie? Yeah, I'm glad you liked it, man. Happy 18. Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, I just let me just put some people in timeout, man. No spamming, guys. No spamming. Okay. All right. Oh, I accidentally skipped one. My bad. Okay. Were there any cameos you wish would have been put in the movie, or a cameo that you would have wanted extended? I would have liked. You know what? I would have liked to have seen Rogue in there. Rogue would have been cool. The old one, especially since they cut her cameo from Days of Future Past. It would have been nice. You know, it could have had two people who had a strong connection to Wolverine. You know, Daphne King and Rogue. She's like, in my time, in her time, Wolverine is the best. In my time, Wolverine is the best. We know you can be the best. Rogue would have been cool, but Cyclops was my top choice, man. I just really badly wanted to see Cyclops in there. I didn't care even if it was the kid from Ready Player One. I just wanted to see Cyclops in that 90s outfit, similar to Wolverine's. That would have been it. Extended, just have Chris Evans be part of the variant team at the end. That would have been cool. Just more Chris Evans would have been nice. But it was funny when he died, and they were like, "Do you know what he was doing to the budget?" I thought that was hilarious. Okay. They're going to have to make Doom do something super crazy evil in order for us to differentiate from Tony Stark and see him as a villain. Yeah, and I think Tony, I saw some people complaining about Robert Downey Jr.'s acting ability. The man just won an Oscar, and I know there's other valid reasons to hate the casting, but I think if he pulls it off and he doesn't just act like an evil Tony Stark, dude, whatever performance he pulls off could really help elevate his version of Doom. Let's see here. I was excited to see Cyclops, probably saving for the future. Yeah, I agree. I think they were saving Cyclops for the future, and I can't wait. Just give him a scene like X-Men 97. Kevin Feige, you saw people going crazy with the scenes of Cyclops in X-Men 97, so give him a scene like that in Secret Wars or something like that. We ain't getting Ben Affleck or Human Torch for Secret Wars. That's also what kind of sucks, right? It's like, I don't think we're going to get Daredevil now. Would be awesome. I'd love Daredevil Ben Affleck to be in there. Human Torch, yeah, it's like they just killed him, so I don't know if we're going to get him. But, hey, I wouldn't mind to seeing Michael B. Jordan Human Torch. Although the Fan Four Stick is an iffy movie, I like Michael B. Jordan. It'd be cool to see him go flame on. Especially since he looks like Killmonger. All right, why do you think Thor was crying holding Deadpool? I've seen so many great theories and people theorizing. I feel like they're gonna make it tie into Secret Wars or Doomsday whenever they decide to do that. Most likely Secret Wars. But I saw a really funny theory that I'm like, that's exactly it. Is that Thor and Deadpool become very close friends. They're chummy. They joke around a lot throughout the movie. But Thor doesn't realize Deadpool has a healing factor. And so Thor thinks Deadpool is literally dying after he got wounded. And Deadpool just likes the attention being held in Thor's arm. So he lets Thor think that he's dying. And he's like, no, my beauty, Thor. Love. Like, that's such a Deadpool thing to do, is just pretending he's dying for the attention and then just be like, just kidding, I'm here. I'm like, I saw someone say, I'm like, yep, that's exactly what they could do. I doubt Deadpool's really going to die. But if Ryan Reynolds wants to stop playing the role, I mean, then yeah, it's time to kill Deadpool and then have him recasted from the Secret Wars soft reboot. But we'll see. It's going to be hard for someone else to play Deadpool that isn't Ryan Reynolds. Imagine teleporting Alioth into Secret Wars battle. Ooh, that'd be interesting. I don't know. Him versus like Galactus would be kind of cool. That's the Smoke Cloud versus actual Galactus this time. That'd be crazy. Black Suit Spider-Man wins. Secret Wars. They have to do it, especially now that one thing Russo brothers were doing great, in my opinion, every time they touched Spider-Man, whether it was in Civil War, Infinity War, or Endgame, they always made Spider-Man feel like traditional teenage comic book Spider-Man. So you know the Russos are gonna want to pull out that comic panel of giving Spider-Man the black suit in the Secret War. So yeah, that's when he's getting that. Chris, do you think Bucky will die in the upcoming Thunderbolts movie, or will they keep him until Avengers Doomsday movie? It depends, man, because I was also thinking with Robert Downey Jr., now Doctor Doom, screw it. Just go all in, my friend. Give us Hydra Captain America and have Chris Evans play him. Give us Maestro Hulk by Mark Ruffalo. Give us Hawkeye as Ronin, but fully into the character. Basically, give us the OG Avengers, but all evil variants versus the team. And so with that, it would be kind of sad to see Bucky fight evil Captain America. I think we would kind of want to see that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. If they kill him in Thunderbolts, I could see that being sad too. 3C Film, I don't like this idea of Robert playing Doctor Doom, and I don't blame you. There's a lot of reasons to hate it and a lot of valid stuff. I'm going to keep an open mind and hope it works, dude, but if Marvel messes this up, it's game over for them, man. It's game over for them. All right, wish they kept his shoulder pads, dude. Yes, the Hot Toys made it look so good. Wolverine Hot Toys, dude. Yes, this is perfection. If you just kept those shoulder pads on, it would have just elevated the suit so much more. Like, this looks a million times perfect, but I'm not going to complain that hard because I still liked it even without the shoulder pads. But this would have been perfection. In the end, yeah, if they bring this suit back in Secret Wars, they're going to correct that mistake, and you know Deadpool is going to say something where he's like, oh, don't worry, guys. This time we kept the shoulder pads. You know, he's going to say something like that. Yeah. All right. I still don't know why Thor is crying over Deadpool. I need answers. Yeah. They're definitely going to recreate the scene and make it make sense, but it could just be a throwaway joke, and I don't think we need to think of it that hard. They better bring Loki into Secret Wars. I don't see how they don't now. Like that scene I was talking about where you go back to Tony and Loki in Avengers. Oh, Tony and Loki fan fiction. What the fuck? Let's not look at that right now. That's a different time now. That's a different time. Can you imagine? I don't even want to know what the photos would have looked like if I images. All right. No, sorry, my bad. Loki. Just like this. We're gonna see this again, but this time Loki is the good guy and Robert is the bad guy. Like, they're flipping the script on us, man. And even with that green logo, it's Loki versus Doom. Like, that's why, like, in the MCU, this kind of makes sense, and I'm like open to it because I can see this happening. So I think Loki almost needs to come back for Secret Wars because he's now a good guy. And we went from the first Avenger movie, Loki versus Iron Man, to now one of the last Avenger movies, or one of the biggest newer Avenger movies, Secret Wars. Loki's the good guy versus Robert. Like, I feel like you almost have to do it, right? Okay. Thanks for being a movie voice for us millennial Mexicans. No problema, mi amigo. Watched many reviews before, and I can confidently say your opinion is one of the best. Oh, I was about to say I agree. That would have been so cocky of me. No, I appreciate you saying that. There's definitely times where I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm just like not as harsh as other people. You know, I see some people who like get more critical, and I'm like, should I be that critical? Should I be that more? But I'm like, I just love movies. I want to have fun. So. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm easy to please a lot, man. If you just make me smile and I have fun, I like your movie. I'll admit the flaws it has, but I'm not gonna say those flaws overtake my enjoyment of a movie sometimes, you know. But yeah, sometimes I do wish like maybe I was more professional or critical, because I think like Stuckman does a good job of that. There's other creators I respect and like Red Letter Media do that very well. Where I'm like, but then I feel like I just fall down a miserable hole of just being too critical that I just end up hating everything. It's like, I still just want to enjoy movies, you know? This is my job. I want to enjoy what I do. Chris, give me a voice clip to animate. Okay. I don't know what to say. Okay. I don't know what to say. Give me a voice clip to animate. Okay. It's it. Hey, sir, do you have the Wolvussy? Oh, yay, you do have a Wolverine. Don't worry, I'm just gonna use it for popcorn and no other reason. That's me walking away. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, baby. Tag me whenever you finish that, buddy. Okay. Let's see here. I skipped a few. Deadpool and Wolverine was a fun one, but I got puked on, so negative points for me. No, you got puked on in the theater. Oh my god, dude, I'm so sorry. I really hope it was at least a family member or someone you know. I feel like that's easier, right? If my lady pukes on me, my brother, family member pukes on me, it's gross, but at least it's someone I know. If a stranger pukes on me, I am showering nonstop for like 72 hours. um, I'm a big Spidey fan, so I wanted to ask, where do you see? I think that's what you mean. See Toby with Hughes Wolverine or Spidey Pool with Andrew or Tom. Also, I think RDJ is gonna play a dual role, so it's gonna be a Tony variant and Doctor Doom at the same time. Well, that'd be crazy if they pull that off. That would be crazy. Um, what do you see happen? Toby with Hugh Jackman Wolverine has to happen. Like that's just a no-brainer. They were both characters brought up around the same time. The fan base is built there for them. People who have nostalgia for Toby have nostalgia for Hugh's Wolverine. You have to do that. Andrew, I just most want to see him fight a Venom so they can fulfill that line where he says, "Oh, I want to fight an alien," so you could do that. Will we see RDJ as Iron Man and Doom fight in Secret Wars? I do like the theories. People are, if they keep these logos, because we know Marvel changes these logos even after they announce them in Comic-Con. But if they keep these logos and you introduce Doom here, I mean, this red and gold logo would signify Iron Man coming back, whether it's a variant or time travel before he dies. Yeah, I think they are going to bring in an Iron Man to fight Doom, but we'll see how if they make that word. Make a Discord. I'll do my best. I'll do my best, but I hit Unk status. Discord be confusing me, and I don't know how to run it. I barely know how to run my Reddit. Alejandro Cadan sends in some support. Thank you. 3C Film. Rhodey might appear in Captain America: Brave New World because I've been hearing there. I'm not sure. That makes sense to me. Rhodey has been, an integral member of the Secret Service, the White House. They do need it to explain though if hey, what's up, Cap? I was a scroll and disappeared for 5 years, but I'm here now. Part of me just doesn't even want them to touch that storyline again. Let's just move past that. I don't even know if we are going to touch upon that, man. I just got reminded about Secret Invasion, and now I'm pissed. All right. I was only disappointed by the movie's third act, exposition dump, and weak villain resolution. I could agree on that. I'm not gonna fight you on that. I would have introduced another Omega level mutant like Jean, in which Deadpool and Wolverine would assist her in directly taking down Cassandra. That would have been cool. Jean would have been nice, whichever version. Yeah, I agree. Third act, it loses its steam, gets really messy, complicated. And yeah, the weak villain resolution, yeah, I don't blame you. Thought we were gonna see Moon Knight. I don't know if Moon Knight would have worked in Deadpool Wolverine. That would have felt kind of random to me. But maybe we'll see Moon Knight down the line. All right, 40X is the best way to see the movie. I still need to see another. The last movie I saw on 40X was Jurassic World Dominion, and I don't know, just okay, it's too much. All right. What's up, Chris? Do you ever think Deadpool and Spider-Man will have a moment on the big screen? Love your content. Look, we know Sony and Marvel do this thing, right, where they get a Marvel character and pair him up with Spider-Man. We still think for the next Spider-Man movie, it'll be Spider-Man and Daredevil. Or at least we really hope so, because that would make the most sense. For the next Spider-Man movie, I would love it to be Spider-Man and Deadpool. Like, it would just make sense. It would just be fun. I would like to see it. Hope it happens, but we'll see. Wouldn't Wolverine being there cause an incursion? I agree. We need some answers on that because, no way the TVA must know about incursions, right? So why would they just let that Wolverine stay there unless whatever they did whenever they were touching the negative energy and whatnot somehow that allowed Wolverine to stay in that universe. Maybe reaching a little bit. We'll see. Do you think there will be another Deadpool movie? I don't know. I would not be surprised if after Secret Wars and all that, Ryan Reynolds just hangs up the Deadpool curtain. Because that's a tough gig to do, and I'm sure Ryan wants to do other stuff, and he doesn't just want to stay too long. And as much as he would love to have a career like Hugh Jackman, who was there for 20 plus years, I think after Secret Wars, we're done with Deadpool, this version of Deadpool, and they'll give us a break and they'll recast the Deadpool down the line, just like they will with the Wolverine. I don't know, but I don't know. What about incursions due to Wolverine? That, like I said, it could happen. Maybe they're just not anticipating it and it happens. And they're like, what the heck? We need to get you out of here, Wolverine. My dad passed in 2022. I apologize for that, my friend. His favorite Marvel character was Deadpool and Wolverine. He would have loved it. And Cavill. He grew up with Batman and Superman. But through Batman versus Superman was a disappointment. I saw it 2 times. Oh, well, at least I'm glad that made you think of your father. I'm sorry about your passing, man. I can't imagine stuff like that. Watching a movie where it's like, dude, they would have loved it. Like I'd be thinking about that all the time with myself and my loved ones. If I happen to go before it's too soon, I'm like, man, I really hope they got cable in heaven or in hell, man. I want to see Secret Wars. All right. So is Deadpool officially MCU? Not yet. Not with the end of that. Like technically everything is MCU, even the DC universe because of the multiverse. But now with this direct connection, yeah. But by the end of the movie, he's still in the Fox universe, in a separate universe. He's not officially in the sacred timeline just yet. All right, let's go. 3C Film, I want you to make a spoiler review on Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1. Also, when is Kevin Feige going to talk about Armor Wars announcement? Yeah, part of me is wondering if they just canned Armor Wars and they're not going back on that. I don't know about a spoiler review on Part 1, but spoiler review when all 3 parts are done. I honestly thought they would have Willem Dafoe play Doom since he has a menacing aura like the Green Goblin. I think people would have been just as mad about that too. But hey, I'll take RDJ. By the way, I love your reviews, 3C. You are a super awesome. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think a lot of diehard fans just kind of wanted a new face and someone to like really bring the presence of Doom together, but they went with RDJ. I want them to make Deadpool a TV show in the MCU. Ooh, I wouldn't mind that. I just don't know if you could put that on Disney Plus, right? That for sure would have to go like on Hulu or something. Infamous Iron Man, RDJ is the variant of Doom. Yeah, well, in Infamous Iron Man, it's still Victor Von Doom who takes over Iron Man's body, Tony Stark's body. But I don't even know. Like, it's one thing to introduce Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. It's another thing to do a storyline where you're like, hey, Victor Von Doom existed, but then he used his magical spell to take over Tony Stark's body. So now he's Iron Man, and he's using his powers. Like, already too complicated. I'm thinking they're going to change a lot. And the MCU has done that. Don't forget, Ultron was in the comics made by Hank Pym. Ultron is made by Iron Man here. A lot of things get wrapped around to be Iron Man related in the MCU. You will always be trending to us, my friends. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Y'all are awesome. All right. RDJ can't be Tony if he's in Fantastic Four. It's set in the 60s. While that is true, and I do get you, it's an alternate universe. For all we know, Tony Stark could have been born or is a fully grown age in the 60s. It's a different world. Tony Stark could have been born at a different time, existing at a different time. Nothing says that he has to exist at the exact time he exists in the MCU time. So we don't know. How you think R-rated heroes villains go PG in the MCU? I think they could have their own movies, but when they're in team-up films that are PG-13, they're just slightly censored. And Deadpool will be the only one to really address it or make fun of it. You know, Blade can be rated R in his movie, but if they somehow pops up in Avengers, well, they can censor Blade enough. I mean, honestly, if you take all this stuff from Blade minus the R slur, I'm pretty sure he'd be fine in the PG-13 movies. X-23 and the Void can be explained by the universe being erased in reverse, beginning with Logan and going backwards from there. Okay, yeah, that could work. I could see that happening, my friend. I could see that, yeah. Unlucky Dreamer, thank you for also being supportive on Twitter. I recognize that profile picture, Unlucky Dreamer. I wonder if Cassandra turned Reed into spaghetti. Oh, dude, I would have liked to have seen a flash to all the Fantastic Four in their die. But I also wonder if they're saving those cameos. You know, Jessica Alba, the actor who played Reed Richards there, or even that Ben Grimes. Maybe they're saving them, or they're maybe just done with Fantastic Four cameos. All right, 3C Film. I think Toby and Andrew are going to lose in Secret Wars Part 1 and Part 2 against Doctor Doom. Powers and his ideas, plans. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, dude, I just thinking about Secret Wars and all those characters. Are they actually going to pull it off? Part of me will be disappointed if we don't get a Toby or Andrew in there, but there's already rumored to be so many characters. How do they make that work? Then again, the Russo brothers were amazing at making so many characters work in a movie. They gave everyone ample screen time. All right, IDK if anyone else thinks the same, but in Secret Wars, it'd be very cool if Marvel characters that have had or been in a movie to turn up, like Madam Web, Spider-Woman, Man-Thing, Howard the Duck. I don't know. Like maybe like in a quick flash, almost like this is the multiverse. And you see little glimpses, but I'm not gonna be clapping if Madam Web shows up, if Howard the Duck shows up, or any of those people show up. Like, just let's keep it a little simple, right? Let's not turn into the cameo fest of the Flash. All right. What do you think Feige meant when he said this movie is an 8 on how big it changes the MCU? One, people are probably right. Wolverine being in the Fox universe is going to cause an incursion, so that's going to cause universes to collide. Two, we now have an opening for Wolverine and the X-Men to meet up together because they set up that thing of him wanting to like pay his respects to his old X-Men. So I think they set that up. Deadpool, they say Deadpool is an important character to the MCU timeline. Although he's in the Fox timeline, he's an important character to the MCU timeline. So we know Deadpool has to do something in Doomsday or Secret Wars. So I'm thinking those three things are the big players. All right. Even if it felt forced, I would love Blade to turn to the guy who backstabbed him and say, "Are you out of your damn mind?" Yeah, that would have. Yeah, he did say one of his lines. It was like somebody always trying to skate Ice Hill or something like. I butchered that line, but he did say a line from his one of his earlier movies. Sending some support. Thank you, Mr. Old Ass Foo. All right, odd of Miguel from Spider-Verse being in Secret Wars. We'll see. Maybe that's just their way of tying in the Spider-Verse animated movies, but I wouldn't mind, some more Spider-Man variants, although I feel like we're kind of full now if we're bringing Toby and Andrew in there. We'll see. Went to El Captain for the first time ever. Went to the fan event and with my brother-in-law. Was an awesome vibe with all 900 people. My brother-in-law seemed so lost and confused from the cameos. Yeah, it's definitely a situation where you have to be a longtime fan for a lot of this stuff to make sense. Not just like watching the movies, but being part of the movie space, knowing all the trivial news and things like that. That's why I think some of the jokes in Deadpool Wolverine are not going to age well because they're so time sensitive, I feel that they should should have got Killian for Doom. That would have been cool. It would have even worked nice, with the Oppenheimer situation, but maybe down the line they still give us a traditional Doom. First time ever doing super chat messages in general. Also, the first time I go to the El Capitan CDC, stole the star of the movie. Oh, nice, man. Well, appreciate you, Mr. Old Ass. Thanks a lot. All right, I made art of Deadpool and Wolverine on my X page. I would love for you to see it. Also been a fan since the first FNAF news. My name is Secret Man 101. Well, let me just just since you sent in a super chat, I'll do it. But let me just double check. It's not some Loki fan fiction, my friend. Because man, imagine if I showed that, I would have been butchered. Let's see here. This looks good. I guess so. Yeah. Like, you mean this, buddy? Looks nice. Looks cute. Good. Keep it up, man. I can't draw for anything, man. I wanted to as a kid, but I sucked. I sucked at drawing. Keep up the great work, man. Okay. It will most likely be Tom, but what if Andrew is the Spidey that gets the black suit in Secret Wars? Mostly want this because he's my favorite. Not gonna lie, I wanted to. In fact, just give all three of them the suit. Just don't make me choose. Maybe Toby doesn't have to since he's already done it, but let Andrew and Tom Holland do it. I would just love to see it. And then they get mad at Toby, and Toby has to fight the both of them. Ooh, ooh. But look right now, I'm sounding like crazy fan fiction fan service, and that's what people hate in the MCU right now. Did anyone else get super hyped when they saw the Wanda? Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about that. The Wanda statue that they're going to bring her back. Yeah, I wonder if this means then that Wanda is in the void. Is she trapped in there? Because that's the statue from Multiverse of Madness, right? So when she exploded at the end of that movie and died, maybe she just went to the void and she's out there traveling. So I don't think that's the last time we see the void in the MCU, guys. All right. Hey 3C, Deadpool and Wolverine was so much fun. Also, RDJ Doom is nuts. I'm a little hesitant of Doom, but I see a suit of armor around the world feels very Doom. See, that's I so agree on that. While I 1,000% understand the complaints and the anger, and it all makes a lot of sense, just from an MCU perspective, there is like some interesting storytelling, a version of this character that fully goes with the suit around the world and takes it too far, to stretches out the multiverse. Maybe could go well, but dude, you really got to pull it off. Puke was done by, oh no, I'm so sorry. The puke was done by a stranger. Got a free ticket though. Oh, dude, you need more free tickets. I'm so sorry about that. There's one time in the theater, and this haunts me to this day. I was sitting next to a stranger. Oh, dude, it's so disgusting. I was so into the movie, I didn't pay attention. I grabbed the stranger who's sitting next to me their drink and took a sip from it. And I was like, and it was root beer. I'm not a fan of root beer. I sipped out, but just and it was a guy, which to me, it makes it worse. And just the thought, someone else's germs sipping through that straw, and it was root beer and all that. I was like, oh, dude, it haunts me. I was like, I don't know, 12. But it's because I usually have my drink on the right side, but the guy had his drink already there. So, oh, dude, it was one of the grossest times of my life. All right, Chris, do you work out? You should be the new Wolverine when it reboots. We need a new icon villain. Disney villain are gone. I keep saying I'm gonna work out and I'm gonna eat healthier and whatnot, but look, there's a freaking bag of candy here on my desk that I've been waiting to munch on. I need to, man, because I want to be a father soon, and I don't want to be no fat dad. I don't want to be no dad where like everybody makes fun of. I want to keep up with my kid and have the energy. So I need to do something soon, dude. And plus, I want to live a long time too. All right. Chris, hope you're doing well, brother. What's a crazy week it's been other than RDJ as Doctor Doom news? Seeing Sniper's blade shocked me the most, and what a great surprise. Yeah, it's so crazy to me. I was so looking forward to this live stream and talking all this crazy stuff, but it's so weird that now this movie instantly became the least, I don't want to say exciting, but the least interesting thing to talk about in the MCU right now. I thought this was going to be so interesting, but I'm like, we have freaking Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. Crazier things are happening right now. Cassandra Nova putting her hand in Paradox. Dude, that was funny. Just the way she grabbed him as a bowling ball and dragged him. I did like that. Hi, Chris. Big fan. Off topic, but do you collect movie theater tickets or do you toss them? I used to be someone that collected them. I think I collected them up until like the first Avenger movie. But the thing with movie tickets is after a while, they fade out. They like, unless you're like really securing them on something or some plastic or keeping oxygen away from them, they fade out. So while I did collect tickets for a time, after a while, you couldn't even tell what movie it was. You'd be like, what movie was this? They just fade away, which sucks. But yeah, and nowadays, most of the times I'm buying my tickets on digital. You know, I have the ticket through the QR code. You go to the movie theater, you scan it, and then you're allowed in. So like, you don't even get, to get in there. Okay. Big fan. Love your content. Mixed on RDJ as Doom only because I hope it doesn't make Doom a one-off as a villain. Oh, let's see. I really hope it doesn't make him a one-time villain. If it is, that'd be such a waste to bring back RDJ. Like we all knew RDJ was coming back. He'd be in there somehow, but like if he's just a one-time villain, it's like, oh, okay, why couldn't you just bring him back as an Iron Man variant in Secret Wars or make him Superior Iron Man? He's got to be the villain for the next two, but also they need to make that villain angle work because a lot of people don't like this Doom stuff. So yeah, okay, Let me see just some final stuff in here to talk about with you guys. It's Deadpoolin' time. The TVA caught Loki, but couldn't catch Deadpool, dude. Deadpool's a slippery fool. Deadpool, dude, the way he was, even Loki was not murdering TVA agents like that. Loki was going ham. Did they explain how Johnny Storm got in the void? Yeah, it's just like they said with Blade and that. It's just like the TVA were going around getting ready to prune universes or get rid of them. And they went to universes where they knew characters there would be a problem. And so they got rid of the Fantastic Four of that universe. But it doesn't say if their universe is completely gone or it is gone, you know? All that. Let me see here. Let me answer another question. Hey Chris, you're the best. When I make movies, you have to be in them. Oh, I'm always down to cameo. I'm lucky if anyone ever lets me, man. Thank you for that. All right. When could we expect a Marvel versus DC? Ooh, I don't think it's happening for a long time. We still have to let James Gunn build up his DCU, which a lot more people are having faith in now after this RDJ news. Saw so many people going like, I can't believe I'm more excited for the DC universe than Marvel right now. But, you know, it's exciting. It's the start of the universe. I don't think we're getting that crossover for another 10 years, honestly. Another 10 years. No way they do it in the next 5 years. It's got to be another 10 years we do that. All right. How long will you be doing, how long will you doing your channel for been watching for years? Oh, how long will I like be a YouTuber? As long as you guys let me. You know, if I'm doing this till I'm 40 and I have the energy and you guys still like my opinion and I haven't completely fallen off and some younger or cooler, more hip movie YouTuber takes my place, which happens sometimes, you know, there's a kid being born right now that's going to take my YouTube start and I'm going to be like, no, you brat. Canon event. Just erase them from the timeline. I'm going to try to do this for as long as I can. I like what I do. You guys are awesome. So for as long as I can, man, for as long as I can. All right. But I think on that note, this is where we end it, my friends. That was the last one. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me here on this live stream talking Deadpool and Wolverine spoilers. We'll see if we do this again for another movie that warrants it. You guys let me know if you enjoyed this. We can, I don't know, comment down below what you think the next movie should be for the spoiler live talk review. But you guys are fantastic. I'm sure this week we'll talk more about RDJ and the Marvel Universe and what's going on. But I love y'all's faces. Thank you for being here. I'll see you on the next one.